Say hello, Internet.
Hello, Internet.
I really hope that titties was the first part that I managed to capture.
Yes, previously on Lettuce and Titties.
We can just keep saying it.
Oh, we're gonna. You better fucking believe it.
It's now the unofficial name of the stream is Lettuce Boobs.
Well, let's see.
We're going to spell it Letus.
Hey, you can't see my notes. Oh, I just drew a thing.
Oh, right, the camera's behind us. I was like, where are you even showing that to?
It's my girlfriend, you know.
Yeah.
I'm trying different angles and different things and what I have energy for. And
We succeeded at our mission. Okay.
it's alright. Hell yeah, we did.
Talked to the elephant.
We did some shit.
Talk to the elephant.
Yeah. Oh my god.
There was some elephant.
Fucking elephant.
There was some elephant pathos like last time.
Elephant pathos. You know what you did.
I know who I'm playing with.
Yeah.
We met the governor.
Yeah, we did.
No, and we were like, here, we'll take care of this problem for you. And he was like, yes, please do.
And his butt boy who was like, I just live here, man. Please? And we're like, we would like to live here too. He was like, okay. And I'm like, all right. So
yeah, you did most of your business with the captain of the guard.
I mean, I was mostly just doing stuff in my shop.
oh yeah, you were like, all right, I just opened this big venture.
Then
I'm gonna leave for a year.
It needs some work, so.
It'll be fine. Nothing bad has ever happened
This is
to
fine.
any of our
This is
characters'
fine.
stuff
This
when
is fine.
ignored for too long.
If there's anything else.
No, we mostly just sort of...
Oh, Evine was poisoned and then Xavier gave her something.
She was sweating it out.
Yeah.
We don't know what
That's
it
so
was.
good.
Some weird
Fae
thing.
bullshit.
I don't care. It was rad.
Oh, right. Faith,
Well, she got poisoned by weird Fae bullshit, and then Xavier had weird Montaigne bullshit. To be like, here, drink this, and we'll go away.
That's the fun part, is that nobody knows how much Faye bullshit was in it and how much she just fucking hallucinated because of her contact with the Graal.
That is basically
She has glamour, so...
Except for the end where Jimena's boat comes in and we're going to possibly talk to them to get passage to...
Oh yeah, your people. All right.
I said Eisenberg. No, that's not it.
Jesse Eisenberg?
No, it's Jesus Eisenberg.
Jesus, I think that's right. He's in
Does
this.
that even make sense for people to be named Jesus if there's no Jesus?
I mean, it's still just a name.
Was it a name before that?
Yeah, Yeshua is just a Hebrew name. And Jesus is the Latinization of Yeshua, and then Jesus is the Spanishization of...
So basically it was Josh?
No,
Oh.
there's Joshua,
Oh.
and then there's Yeshua.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh.
Wow, you're like
But-
so enlightened now.
Yeah. Both are even in the fucking Bible.
Look at the
Yeah.
show we
Pets of
teach you,
Jericho,
Internet.
bitches.
You take a consonant and a vowel, and then you put shua at the end of it.
And then it's a name.
Dope.
Yeshua. I don't know. Now I'm just being racist. But
Mishua, isn't that the
Misha
isn't that the
is-
store we keep going to where it's got okay, yeah.
yeah.
Mitsuha?
That's Japanese.
I thought they were
though.
Japanese. so they're Hebrewnese. No?
No.
Okay.
Mitsuha.
No.
That's the plaza on Saratoga.
I think that'd be great. Anyway.
So Elephant decides to go on his own.
Elephant
to
Man.
Whatever. There was another boat that's going to
Yeah, because we got other people to be like, hey, you can take him back to Ifrit.
Oh yeah, you're the guy we didn't have kill himself with poison. You deal with the elephant. Nice. Right? I think that was him?
Yeah.
The nodding from the storyteller tells me I'm eerily accurate. Okay.
Yeah, you're on the right track.
So that's
Yes.
pretty much what the last notes I have was about the elephant going onto this boat.
Yeah, because he was like, oh, you have other people you need to help? That's okay.
Yes.
But you have to come visit me, and we'll have a sound that'll be how you know it's me. In case I'm a snake.
That's right.
Because he's a snake that
Yeah,
makes
shape-shifting
elephant noises.
elephant. That will make an elephant noise. That's the call.
How dare you give him hopes and dreams?
And Genya made it as a bird.
Yeah.
They agree on noise to make some elephant noise.
In defense, crows can mimic other sounds,
Absolutely
That
can.
is true.
so totally makes sense.
All right, if y'all want to tot it up some more, the condiments are going back in the fridge, and the tots are out for your...
Shot it up.
Fucking birds mimic chainsaw noises where I'm from,
100%.
which really fucking puts you on edge.
Yeah.
My dad
Mockingbirds
would
and
get
crows
caught
and
like
shit.
all the fucking time. Is like, somebody chopping wood on our lands. I mean, then the back, like that's
Pa.
our land. It's like I'm pretty sure it's
His
birds.
words.
It's not nearly
It's
loud
just birds,
enough.
Pa.
It's not nearly. It was like maybe they were far. I was like, well, I mean, maybe.
Wait, what did the governor want again?
What's that?
The governor?
lettuce and ass.
He asked for the elephant to be.
And lettuce.
Oh, so
Take
he
it
asked
away.
us to do the thing we were gonna do anyway?
Well, because we
Yeah.
went there to talk to him, and
I'm
He
we
pretty
didn't
were,
sure
seek
he
you
wanted me
guys
to
out.
kill the elephant.
oh,
and
well,
we
fuck
were like,
that.
we will take
Yeah.
care of the elephant. We'll
Yeah.
do you a
It
solid.
was clearly a. Please take care of this because there's too much shit I gotta take care of right now. Like
Yeah.
some nobleman just got murdered in my city.
It's like, yeah, it was us, but you
And
don't
I
need
was
to know
like,
that.
Illyra Montang, I am not shaking your hand.
Oh yeah, the captain of the guard was
Yeah.
Yeah.
Governor Perez was just working at his desk,
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
like mousy.
And we found out that he's
ineffective.
blonde, which I did not realize.
The
But
governor or the...
Yeah, the governor.
Oh, wow.
But do
Governor
the
Perez.
does the carpet match the drape though?
I mean, if we want to find out.
Okay, I will endeavor.
Nice. I don't say that in character because Marilena would not say that.
Hello, Mr. Governor. Do you like strong individuals? Firm yet gentle.
That's the opening of Rithel's Tinder profile. You like strong individuals.
Yeah.
It's just a picture of this section.
No, it's him on bear fur. You're not sure whether or not it's a rug.
I did not post for this picture.
No, you didn't. You don't think I got other bears? Ah!
Damn.
Damn you.
Have you been seeing other Ursas behind my back?
Right?
Behind my haunch.
Scandalous.
Look at
Not
all
only
the
is he
color porn.
intimate with a bear, he has other bears on the
I
side.
got bears in other area codes.
Oh my god.
Show me the bitches.
Or maybe take out my jewelry.
Yeah,
I got 99
I
problems.
got a lot of jewelry.
Aw.
99 problems what? For what, a bear ate one? What?
No, I got 99 problems, but a grizzly ain't one.
Yeah!
Oh, I cannot be a grizzly bear. I have not met one.
And that's why I got other bears.
Grizzly bear?
I didn't know this was an exclusive thing. Like, that was...
I was misled.
It's like, I don't ever really remember saying that we were exclusive. Like, I thought we were just keeping it casual.
Bear
You didn't
marriage is
say-
not legal in this country yet.
Like, you didn't say that the honey pot needed... I don't know where I'm going with it.
You mean exclusive honeypot?
I thought our Ursa Minor was like not an Ursa Major, but you know, now it's like, all right.
You got there. You got there.
No, did he though?
Are we like star-crossed lovers now? Because now I'm mixing multiple metaphors. What's
You took-
up?
And
Anyway,
You took
alliteration.
the deer path a little bit, but you got there.
Yeah, no, it's Anyway, so rumor has it, Rethel fucks bears.
We already knew that.
Yeah,
Those
no.
were my notes from like last book ago. I
I'm
have a new
making
book.
sure that it is well known.
Okay.
It needs to be
We
restated.
want to raise it from rumor to like accepted fact.
Yes.
Whether or not it's actually true.
Oh yeah, no. And it's better that it isn't. It's so much better.
I don't know why he wants me to put these flyers in my store. I just do it.
Is there a bear fucker living in your town? Why, yes, there is. You can meet him. He's right down here from 9 to 5.
If there were, would you know?
Here are some signs.
It's a PSA.
Propaganda.
Yeah.
PSA's posted around town.
Yes, fucking.
Does your neighbor fuck bears? Here are some signs that he might.
Like that does he look like this man? I'm like up against the wall
With
next
the
to
pipe.
Yeah. It's that bad communist propaganda wall painting.
Yes.
Hello. It's just-
So is it like still the same day?
No.
What day is it? Are there bears?
Different day. Different
luck.
day.
I'm just
day,
watching
different day.
avocado porn.
It's still going.
It's 10 avocado gadgets put to the test.
Oh, okay. So it's not
We've
an
only
endurance
seen
thing.
5.
It's 10 different. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I get that. That's all right.
Well, now I can
Kinda
kind of
mix
see
it
it
up.
on the screen and I can't stop.
I don't like avocado.
It's the
I
crazy
don't like
Russian
it either.
hacker, and I just love
You
him.
love what they're doing to these, though.
I don't like eating them, but I do like.
I like guacamole. I don't like
That's
avocado by
exactly.
itself.
Yeah.
It's a texture thing. It makes sense when it's smashed up
Because it's got other
With
things.
other things.
with
And-
other things. But like just the thing by itself, I expect it to be a different texture than it is, even though I know what texture avocados are.
Yeah, it's got that rind,
Right.
and it's got the pit, the
Yep.
stone,
Yeah.
and you're like, okay, it's gonna be like a peach,
or pear,
or a
not
plum.
pear, but
It's
Yeah.
like
weirdly
a plum.
oily and squishy.
Yeah,
Well,
But
it's
it's just-
basically
it's 'cause-
pre-pureed. Right?
Is it a fruit?
yeah,
Yeah.
It's a stone fruit.
It's because it's a fruit, and you're like, fruits are sweet, not this one, fucker, and you're like, oh, okay.
Well, and they're only good for like 3 days. Like if you don't eat them in that exact window,
Mm-hmm.
then it's like, oh no, now they're ruined.
Yeah.
I bought all these avocados. Why?
Yeah, and tomatoes. They're like, haha, nope, not a fruit. Fruit, but no. Yeah, anyway.
So, what are we doing?
I think it's the same. No, it's.
Next
we
day.
were at what's her name's.
So I took the bear,
We went to go see Madame Salvadora.
Yeah,
Right.
that's already
We
done.
talked to her.
Yep.
and then I went back to the
You
bear.
folks are in the, you went to the elephant.
Just clean that.
Sorry, I went to the elephant.
I'm the one who keeps going.
Told him I got him a ride home,
Yep.
but I couldn't take him, so he'd have to wait for me to do something else and then come back. And then he was like, you know what? I believe you. I trust you. If you say these people are good, they'll take me home. I'll go home. But remember, don't forget to come back with me so you can be an elephant again and live amongst our people freely.
That's right.
Because he thinks I'm an elephant and I'm living as a person.
That elephant feels bad. He's like, well, I understand, and she has a very noble goal. Also, it must be really uncomfortable to live as a two-legged person
Yeah.
all the damn time.
All
and
she's
stuffed up in
really
that
an
little
elephant.
body.
Genya, the secret elephant.
That's right. A memoir.
A memoir.
Oh, I guess I can put it back in here.
Secret elephant. Oh, speaking of secret elephant, you know what I saw the first time today?
I thought we were
Ever?
done talking about your sister.
She's not a secret.
Yeah, she's not.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
What'd you see for the first time ever knew?
Dumbo. Like the original cartoon.
Oh, really?
I'd never seen it
Oh
before.
my god.
Yeah, we've just been playing.
I mean, you weren't missing a whole lot.
Yeah.
I don't really like them, though.
I know. I just.
The only reason I wanted to see the remake was because Burton, but
Yeah, no,
an elephant, but yeah.
I've never seen that one either. So,
yeah, no, neither did I.
but we've been playing Disney movies for George in the morning, and he's just like,
So I've been binge listening to the Marcus Hedges Trend Orchestra, who basically does nerd orchestra covers, and he's done a few. He's done a few Disney, and one of them is the Baby of Mine,
oh,
and but he also does a shit ton
I'm
of.
not gonna say that on stream.
It does a shit ton of Adventure Time, and the more I listen to those songs, the more I figure out what they're about in context of the show, and I'm like, shit, I need to rewatch this because now I'm just gonna be sad. And then
Oh, Adventure Time is incredibly depressing
it's so
when you're an
good.
adult.
Oh yeah, once you get
And
it,
you can read all the context. You're like,
and you
oh,
read all that, yeah, and you watch the whole thing all the way. And
Poor
but
Ice
he
King.
also does a shit ton of. Oh my
I
god,
can't.
I might
The
even.
fucking Ice King.
Yeah.
I just.
I'm very tempted to see if I can figure out how to do a Simon cosplay and just be like, I don't care that the show's 10 years old, 15, whatever, I don't fucking care. Anyway.
so I told the elephant he had a place to go.
Yep.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I tried twice.
Yeah.
It's alright.
It is our Sunday
I have
gathering.
information Tourette's.
They
Nothing
also,
to say!
they also play a ton of Zelda, and it makes me want to play all the Zeldas again and maybe run a game again, so we'll see.
Ooh, do we get to play the same character?
I don't know.
I'm missing one.
I don't know.
That's right.
I'm missing half my Tempest.
Well, whose fault is that?
I just play them both.
But we have to
I'll play and go on.
we have to go talk to my friends,
Yeah, we do have to talk to your friends.
which I've already warned you.
Yeah. We're gonna be on this boat full of Montaigne.
They're not all Montaigne, but the captain is.
I said full of them.
Yeah, one is too
is
many.
not.
Full of them! It's too many!
Full of them to her is like you being hungry.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think.
It's just
So what day is it then? Or what? Like, how long has it been since the elephant has
Well, it is now
done the thing?
early evening.
On another day or same day?
Well, I mean,
I think it's the same day.
Because you guys were still at Madame Savador's and I just left
Yeah,
to deal with the elephant, so you guys were still there.
you were
Yeah,
wrapping
you
up the
never
talk,
left.
and
Oh.
once
To
we
address
decided to leave,
The elephant in the woods.
Well, I went back home then.
So we finished up at Salvadora's and went back home?
That's what I would have been doing unless you decided to stop somewhere.
Unless we were going to go meet her fam.
Well, I don't know if they're even docked yet. They're just. They're
yeah,
supposed
they
to-
were into dock.
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
sure from my notes that I knew that was happening. I just wrote that it's there. Okay. We might have found out about it while we were at Salvadora's because she works for Salvadora. So anyway, I think
Unless you have other stuff to discuss, you sent Luna Maria's on an errand.
Oh, yeah, because we were like, you should maybe do a thing. And she was like, I'm on it. And I forget what that was. I think it was my fault.
probably was.
I mean, I don't know how I ended up the face, but so it goes.
You're sort of the scald, so.
I don't think seriously. You want me to be a face?
I don't know, whatever.
I guess
do you want me to be the face?
I can be face.
Yeah, no, JK, I know why I'm the face now.
That's right.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about,
Yeah.
but we'll do this thing.
The physical equivalent of an ellipses is heard
there's-
from the chair where Evine was seated just a second ago.
And I'm like, and then there's haha, where's Marcus over there? Who's the toe of the group?
Basically.
I guess. I don't,
God damn it. Okay, wait.
That's what you didn't know. It was this entire time Marcus was Evine in disguise.
I don't think I wrote anything about Luna Maria doing a thing.
Thanks
Oh wait,
for
no, I got it.
No.
I found it. Sends Luna to rough up the elephant handlers. That's what it says.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Really?
They were dicks.
Yep.
yeah, because they were hurting him.
Well, they were trying to figure out who
Who
had brought
they were,
the elephant.
They sent her
Oh yeah,
to
because we were trying to figure out where it needs to go.
Go.
Yeah.
Got it.
So
Got it.
To
she
get the
was going to
info
get
on-
the exact spot, and then Gustavo, who you basically managed to get out of jail, will be the
Nailed that
one
part.
that will take the elephant,
Yeah.
because that gentleman owes you a major debt. With that,
Because a person's a person, no matter how large.
that's right. Any other business you are wanting to attend that evening?
No. I mean,
That conversation was fairly short, Venya, so
Yeah.
if you come back, you'll sort of catch them as they're basically like boarding the carriage to get back to the
I
house.
think I just go back. I have my own wings.
I feel like I would go back and like start packing and probably take some more damage. Freaking way too many lashes still.
Whose fault is that? Not mine.
How's our dog?
I never said it was anyone's fault.
Well, that dog is happy as shit. He hangs out at the bottom floor, close to the kitchen.
Oh.
All them scraps.
No ribs visible on this dog.
Well,
No.
that's because he's my dog.
Mm-hmm. The only thing that you'll allow to eat.
Other than yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
How would you guys eat?
I mean,
There's like maybe
so
like a
long
few
as
seconds
we,
of
so
fair
long as
game,
we get
right?
in there to start, yeah.
I leave some. Sometimes.
Pick a plate, a single plate with one of each thing.
I imagine Augustina has a weak constitution when it comes to resisting the dog's charms as well.
That dog is cute as shit.
Where's my pencil?
I can't
Sorry, that
go
was like.
there.
Gee, if only you had some other type of writing implement
I
with
do.
which you could make do. She says as she opens another bag
There it is.
full of writing implements.
Hey,
Dear
they have to be
God.
specific.
There are
right?
very particular ones for things.
Exactly.
I got a whole fucking bag of them too, and I dug through it until I found these two.
I have one.
Well, la dee da little as a bitch.
Blixky,
It lives in my
me,
purse.
princess. Actually, I don't take more damage because if I do, I'm gonna have 3 dramatic wounds. So I'm not doing that.
Yeah, give the DM more shit when we have, a full sea crossing to do. Yeah, that sounds
Oh,
good.
yeah.
More shit to do. You also have a collection of people. So
I have a collection of people.
all of you collectively have a collection of people.
Yeah, Jose.
Ah.
And Jose.
them.
And Jose.
Yep.
And
And
Jose.
Josefina.
And
Yep.
Josefina.
I can't remember my friend's name.
Which one?
The one that we got out of prison, and I had to poison his friends.
Ricardo.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was Ricardo.
I knew it was, but I'm like, oh, you're gonna say shit.
The other Mendez.
Yes. The original Mendez.
No, the real Mendez. I feel like we should bring Josefina with us. Just to
Why?
get her out of the country for a while.
Well, because she was.
Is she on team?
No.
One, she could probably use some real world
she's
experience on a ship.
Definitely Molding.
Oh,
Yeah,
she.
she's
Oh,
great.
is she?
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
if her name is Amandine.
And two,
Yeah.
showing her Ison might, if the boat ride doesn't do it, showing her Ison might help orient her ship.
Right.
And
I
if,
can teach her how
Also,
to
to
sew.
everyone's knowledge, she was the Baron's date.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She's the mysteriously vanished arm candy of the Baron.
Who then ended
Oh.
up dead.
And
Okay, I get it now.
she also is very young, and you have the feeling that if she was put under interrogation, the fact that she's a witness to murder would come out probably within the
I
first
mean, she
5
didn't witness
minutes.
shit, but oh no, did she?
She did.
Oh, she sure
Oh,
did.
yeah.
She
nice.
woke up and she wandered in while I was in the process of killing him. Then I had to be like, shh,
Yeah,
sleep.
yeah, and then, nice. Yeah, no, and at the end of the voyage on the way back, at least she'll have some useful life skills at the very least, because she can work on that boat.
Oh yeah, the captain won't let anybody slack off.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I look forward to it.
She's a tough broad, that one.
Do I bring Jose Jr.?
I don't know which one that is.
That's Jose Carlos,
Oh, wait.
my acolyte.
I didn't write down my guys.
Oh,
I'm bringing my
Your Germans,
Your Eisens.
Yeah.
your Isons.
Your
Isengards.
Hey,
I mean,
Hey.
didn't you try to make the hobbits are going to Isengard thing work?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't remember.
Yeah,
I
no.
don't think it did.
No, I don't think it did either. But I want to remind you anyway. I feel like I should leave him. Maybe I don't know.
can't bring them
My
all.
ward, my charge.
Oh,
I'm supposed to be teaching him like this.
that big wide-eyed poor little puppy dog.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, that's hers.
No,
You know for a fact that if you bring him
Either of them.
Ison, that boy will witness
He's gonna
The
witness.
true form of evil.
Which
Darby
again,
monsters.
which again, I'm like, I think these are valuable life lessons because I know monsters are real.
Yeah.
I live in a land of them.
Yes.
I am.
They're different flavors.
In my land, all the monsters are human.
Yeah, no, which are the worst kind.
Well, according to most people, I don't know.
Oh, there
But
it
I-
is.
But on the other hand, it's a proper opportunity to teach them some real boat shit.
Oh, yeah.
Which I'm like, it's part of being a man. Yeah, like I was gonna go Mulan, but yeah, no, that too. Okay, but that's it. The dog, the girl, and my Jose. Those are the only ones we're bringing.
And the Eisen.
I mean, if she wants, yeah, because those are hers.
Yeah, of course. They would.
Should we?
The
It would
communal
be
Jose's.
Well, we have to bring. The
Oh yeah, we have to
sister?
bring. Yeah, we probably have to bring the sister. God damn it. Well, you know what? It's okay.
The whole point we're going is for my sister.
No, I know. No, I know.
We just arrive in Iceland, there's like,
Why are we here?
shit.
Oh man!
Now we got to turn right around. Go back. I told you.
I can already see myself laying her on the bed right before we left and being like,
I
I'm right
made a
where I
note
left
and
her.
everything.
I'm gonna remember to pick her back up.
Walked right past it.
I looked at it. I checked it off the list because it was right there. It was done. And
No, it was
then-
that one time
Right.
you didn't check twice because you thought you've got it all figured out.
You told me I had everything. You said it would be fine.
I wasn't listening.
Right. I remember the exact moment. I'd forgotten my knife. I'm just gonna lay her down on the couch here on the first floor. I'm just
Guys.
gonna go up to my room and grab my
Guys,
knife
it's
and
the
we'll be
police.
fine.
They've arrested 2 burglars who were trying to break it up. Apparently she was setting booby traps for them.
Oh my god.
That would have been beautiful.
And she was played by Macaulay Culkin.
Right?
She did all this while she was in her jet sleep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, she's your sister.
Yeah.
It's 2 particularly zealous prophets who were
So
trying to
what,
break
you're
into the
right.
house
Yeah.
for months on end
Yeah.
and getting thwarted by house traps.
Constantly tricked by a fictional gangster movie. It took me years to find that out. I was like, that's not a real movie. Oh shit.
Oh, the You Filthy Animal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh. It was like a great
No, a lot
movie.
of people
Um,
were fooled by that.
No, yeah.
As you arrive home, the house is the bottom level of the house is well attended, but quiet. The dog is curled up by the hearth and basically just jumps up to its feet the moment you come home and starts jumping at Jimena over and over.
Oh, mi amor.
You can't quite tell. I mean, it's probably a little bit of column A and a bit of column B, but the dog seems really excited to see you. He's also trying to sniff your pockets because he knows there's stuff in there.
Oh yeah.
Auntie's always got candy. Ha ha.
That's right. At the table is Josefina. So Amaldine is there drinking from something that looks like a warm drink. She's got a heavy cloak sort of wrapped on her shoulder, but she seems fairly despondent. She sort of sit at the table, and the moment she sees you guys come home, like it takes her a second, like she's absorbed in thought, and then as she sees all of you, she sort of scampers to her feet like immediately and like goes into a bow.
Oh wait, who's this? Josefina?
Yeah.
Yes.
Our new
Yeah.
baby daughter.
Yeah, no. I'd be like, yeah.
At the other end of the table
It's gone
is your Jose just peeling an apple with a knife, and like when he sees you come in, like he basically like lays the knife down and scampers to his feet and he's like, "You have returned."
Yes, my prodigal son.
Yeah, sit down, finish your apple. I don't know what... Okay, yeah.
I will.
Good. Okay.
He sort of scampers back. You see him sort of look at Amandine as he passes by, and like she's still, formal bow, like she has not broken it. she pauses for a second, and like Jose just sits, and he slowly he's just watching this whole thing unfold. It takes her a moment to realize that you're talking to her, and then she sort of stands up like in a what me like so, and
It's like, sit.
and she
leans over and she's like, pushes the dog. Like, go over there.
We're very casual around here. This bowing thing is not necessary.
You look sad. Here.
Dog.
but you're the masters of the house.
Hardly.
Yeah.
If you want to bow at Rethel, you can do that.
Yeah. That identifies me as a leader, and usually go after the leader first, and so I'd rather.
Well, what, you want them to go after me? Look at me. You've got meat.
Go after her. She won't die.
You dodge really good.
Oh, I'm not there yet.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're not here.
She's probably raven hopping outside the window of her sister's room. Fucking weirdo.
Yep.
Maybe a little bone crackle sound.
Yep.
Love that sound.
I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, no. In here, it's if there's not the map on the table, it's very laid back. Yeah, no. Although, yes, pet the dog. Cheer up. Later, we kick your butt. We teach you how to fight.
She sort of gets like a little taken aback, but the dog like sort of crawls its muzzle like next to the chair, so she has like no choice. Yeah. The head is like coming up, so like she has no choice but to pet the dog. He's just he's like curling up next to the chair.
I pull out my my fork, the one that looks like it's a knife, and I thack it into the table next to her. I'm like, try and pull that out of the table. And when you do, start getting comfortable with it, and graduate you to not utensils later.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
she sort of looks out, and she's just like, I don't think I've properly thanked you for taking me out.
So
I rest my hand on the like after that just briefest beat. I lean in and I put my hand on the utensil and I go, "You don't need to thank us. You will do plenty of work as it is." And then I stand up and let everything I have on me just creak, right? And I know where that spotting is in the floorboards by now, and there's just that loud of the board. And as my hand comes off the fork, it gives that nice little noise.
And she sort of nods and looks at the fork, and
I like just sort of like knowingly nod over at Jose, who will back me up. He doesn't know why he's nodding, but he will.
No, he's filled with the righteousness of this mission that he's not quite sure what it is, but it is right and just, and he will get it accomplished. There's organ music playing from somewhere.
Yeah.
She sort of wraps like a very slender hand around the fork, and then you see her wrist like sort of contract a little bit, and then another hand comes around the fork.
And a crow comes in and lands on her hands.
She yelps audibly, and then sort of backs away.
What?
La cueva!
She's like balancing on the fork.
Get off of her!
Martin looks alarmed.
Wait. Make sure it's in good.
But then she sees this and is like, you see the gears in her head. It's like
everyone's yelling at the bird.
I guess.
Yeah, but at different reasons.
I'm just watching.
Yeah. Through the chuckling, I'm like, you may do things you don't want to do in our service, but you will always have a choice. Wait, that didn't make sense.
No, it didn't.
Yeah.
It's alright. We may ask you to do things you don't want, but you can say no.
I understand.
I don't know if it's quite like that. I feel like there's a lot of peer pressure involved.
I mean,
I feel this conversation is actually happening. And like,
Well,
And he's just like,
You can say no, it
Jimeno
doesn't
is
mean
still
there
yelling
isn't
at the
any
crowd.
pressure.
it's
Get off the table!
debated.
I will
Zenya.
say that there are lines that we will not
Although I think she
cross.
probably says it's Xenia because she can't say the Z.
Yeah. Xenia.
Yeah.
She lands on a chair back and just ruffles her feathers.
Xenia. No, she would say Xenia.
Either way,
I think they can.
first
She
lesson,
might do a head.
dog and fork. Okay.
Xenia.
I understand. I will.
I imagine the raven
Or
just
just
clicks
China.
back at her.
What's
Yeah.
the sound that an X makes?
What's the sound that?
Well, it depends on the language.
Yeah.
So it'd be Xenia.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a Z, but
Oh yeah, because her name's Jimena.
yeah.
Yeah, Xenia with an X.
Yeah.
Right,
Sure,
so
Spanish
when he
has a
was
Z.
saying stuff and everyone
They-
else
more of a
was
Jew?
But they,
Yeah,
Zen.
she's
they
basically.
have the letter Z in the alphabet, but they pretty much never use it.
Exactly. I'm like,
That is very
If you look at her,
Is it
like
more of a
she's
jeu
trying
way?
to pull the fork,
In
and has now
Portuguese,
resorted to
maybe,
sort
but
of
not
push
in
it forward and
Spanish,
back.
really.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought about something while we're
it's like
sitting here.
heavy.
Oh,
normal
reader.
mouth.
Well, Mexican people use Z. Spanish people don't
Take
use
out your
Z.
notes.
Yeah. I'm like, this is Z.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
like,
Zapato.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zapato, mezcal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess yeah, she could say Z. So yeah, it would just be Xenia, because I don't
Yeah.
think she can make the Z
Yeah.
noise.
That's a Portuguese sound.
Yeah.
See, this is why you need to get back on it because we couldn't remember
Well,
the
this
Z's.
is Mexican anyway.
I was like, I went
Izquierda.
to school with a girl named Zia Mora, so like, it was a Z.
She loves the Z.
Anyway, Xenia hops onto a chair back and just ruffles and goes,
Is our trunked friend okay? All right.
yeah.
Maybe you should check upstairs.
She kind of,
Okay.
and then hops up the steps.
Aw.
Because that's what I like now.
I never realized how blessed I was. Okay.
Your own personal raven.
I'm like, that's fucking baller. Look at this blessed beast bouncing around. I don't care that she's from the crazy Easterlands. It's all good.
It's pretty close. It's
Yeah.
close enough.
Yeah.
Right?
Is that your pet bird? Oh no, hon. Just wait.
I
You'll
would
find
not
out
say that
eventually.
P word around her.
I'm lucky if she sends messages for me. Like,
I brought you plenty of messages.
fucks off. Cause it's a raven. You would. Anyway. Yeah.
Sorry, I made him read, so now he has to.
No, yeah.
No, you got it. Her virtue is the road. Fortunate.
I'm not sure if that's the case. Okay.
I mean, kinda.
No, yeah, she got
We
it.
did save her from, you know.
I mean, she was
Probably
lucky
the-
enough to stumble into that high ranking
Oh,
situation.
we're saying
Do the-
fortunate doesn't necessarily.
Do the things have different? Like, is there more than one virtue to one card?
No.
No, each
Okay.
card has a virtue and
Yeah,
a
because I'm the
hubris.
road, but I'm friendly.
Oh.
Do it wrong.
That's why I'm like, I'm the road.
Hmm.
My virtue is
There
friendly.
shouldn't be.
We're all the road down here.
Yeah.
This is road all the way down.
I'm
Road
the
on road on
hero.
road.
I'm the hero. I was supposed to save the girl. Yeah, we know.
What are you doing, America?
That was a ridiculous
I don't know.
play.
I'm gonna wait till everybody else. Then I'm gonna come in because everyone knows I'm the hero.
Yep, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It's the wheel
There we go.
is
Like,
fortunate.
So she's the wheel, not the road.
Yep.
Sometimes you're the road. Sometimes you're the road.
Thank you.
Sometimes you're the
Sometimes you're
wheel.
I was like, oh, someone like me. No,
Yeah.
that's not right.
Okay.
The hubris is the devil trusting.
Oh, me too.
Oh.
Oh.
So you have that in common.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Oh no! All these things track.
I mean, I just give her a look and then I just go, oh.
Oh, bless your heart.
Oh, hun. Bless your heart.
You need to change that. You need to change that hubris and teach her how to play with knives.
When I could teach her how to play with knives, but
Kinds of times.
kind of to not use my lashes.
Do any
for
of
a while.
you here at the stable speak Ison?
No. Can I buy that? I need
No,
to buy
I
my,
speak Vestin.
are my dues here?
I want to buy that.
Or are they somewhere else?
No,
I am
We don't know
I
that.
speak Montaigne and Boldache,
I am a filthy dual
and
tongue.
Castellano and Old
I
Thayan.
am
Right.
uncultured.
Do not speak.
Weirdly enough, not the smartest person at the table knows 3 languages.
Yeah, and, I'm like,
I
can let you buy that if you have.
yeah, no, I'm looking at it right now. I'm like, I should know that by now. I
Yeah.
feel like.
I will.
I don't
Let's
speak
let's
the
nosebleed
Eastern
into the fact that
languages.
you know Ison, because that would make sense. If you take linguist like as an advantage, you speak everything.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm thinking.
So for you, Rethold, the rest of you just hear.
Angry shouting.
Well, it sounds angry, but there's laughter sort of like interjected in there.
So it's from outside?
Yes, and it's approaching. For you, Rethold, you clearly hear. No, you remember this completely wrong. I had you, and you refused to back down, so that point was mine.
I hear it clearly because it's in Vestin.
In Ison.
Oh no, I don't speak Ison.
Okay, so you don't speak that.
And no one speaks Ison.
No, sorry. When I said dual language, I meant Vestin.
Gotcha.
Old Thayan.
Yeah, so you just hear the
We hear
sounds
some-
back and forth. You hear some shuffling. What sounds like somebody softly punching another.
It sounds angry, but not.
Right.
They're laughing.
Um,
It still sounds angry though.
you recognize the voice of your boys approaching up the path.
So I'm not surprised. Face not surprised.
The moment they are like close to the house, the chatter just dies down, and it's business. Right, there is a soft knock at the door, and they sort of slowly enter and take a bow. They basically just give you like a short
Speaking
report saying they went to
Darth
patrol
Vader.
to the shop, that everything was
Metronome.
going according to plan, and that
Good to know.
are now ready for whatever next assignment you have for them.
Speaking of that, do we have anybody here we need to tell?
I think everyone but us
Okay.
about what's going to happen in the next couple days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whoever's going. So, I'm not worried about this one. Not so much about that one. Definitely not that one. I point at the dog. But you might want to let those two know.
They actually, at Augustina's urging, they actually are ushered closer to the table. They take a seat. There's a couple words exchanged. Oh, Jose, Emil. Just like they sort of clear and sit next to each other. And Augustina's sort of dropping mugs and immediately fills it with beer. And you see your boys are basically immediately, donkey. Like they look at this lady like
Like a
I want her
like
to
the
be my
saint
mom.
She is.
Right?
So my understanding is our next mission will take us to Eisen.
Eyebrow.
Yeah, you actually see like a little bit of a lean. Emil is like drinking his mug and then like laying it down. Is that so?
Yes, we are going there to meet. Do we actually know who we're meeting? It's
I
a
think
major.
we're going
No,
to-
Ricardo has a friend.
I think we're going to give that eyeball back that Zenya stole a while back to whoever it is
He
for.
wasn't an Ison. He was.
I don't care.
Who was he?
This is
He
the
was-
story I'm
He
telling
gave
you.
you-
I do not care.
The only
No,
thing
he was,
that Ricardo
Samartian.
told you is
Yeah,
that
he
you're
was
supposed to meet with a Major Kauser.
Yeah, it was Ricardo's friend.
Okay, so I think I mentioned Major Krauser then. To say we have a mission to go to Eisen and meet with a Major Krauser.
Do you know of this man?
They all spit.
I mean,
that would be that would give us a.
That would be
Actually,
something.
no, I don't know what that would mean. You like that?
Oscar is like, well, it's not that uncommon of a name. I know several officers by that last name.
Ah, well.
Oh, that's useful. Okay.
I have more information than that. But
We should go to my country and ask for someone named Carl.
That's right.
Go on.
A sixth of the country.
Will the real Jorgensen please stand up?
Right.
It's on my old.
A few of them crawl out of mausoleums.
Yeah.
Didn't he have like a specific like
You better.
duty?
Specific duty?
Yeah, I don't remember where he
He's
wrote
a
it.
Hexenberg.
Ooh.
But
Do we
Did
know
we know
that?
that?
I was
you
told
heard
I
it
need
from
to-
Ricardo.
Yeah, I need to find someone
You also
specifically who
heard-
can do this.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily the most highly regarded profession.
Right, and they know
in
a
some
fate
portions
so
of the
I'm just
country,
like, whatever.
it's straight up illegal.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. If
Again, I'm a fate witch.
yeah,
I don't care.
if you don't remember
I make the
specifically,
fire happen.
if you don't remember specifically at that point, I would be like, yeah, not only is that his name, he is the bone witch, the
Oh, you see, like the boys, like they sort of lean at the table, and Emilia's like, Hexenberg.
Sure.
Yes, that sounds familiar. Yes.
I think so. Yeah, probably.
Because I love a dramatic entrance.
Right.
Jenny comes back downstairs as a bird and then changes.
You see-
Imagine Amandine screams.
Yep.
Yeah.
Amandine actually, at this moment, the
She
fork
faints.
comes undone from the table, and she staggers backwards with a
Yeah,
yelp.
like that. Yes. Good.
That was very impressive.
Good. And I take her hand and I flap it down into the table again. I'm like, again.
Why are we sticking the cutlery into the table?
It is a lesson,
It's
I
called
guess.
strength training.
You see Jose at the end of the table, and like, there's an involuntary twitch, like near his shoulder somewhere, where it's like you can almost see the phantom weight.
There are easier ways to teach people to be strong.
I point over at the girl.
Strength isn't everything.
Maybe a broom is more her style.
Battle broom.
Knitting needles?
I'm just looking at her like
We're all
maybe
about
a
to
two-hander.
improvise.
Maybe you're onto something. Okay. The small ones can be the most fierce.
So hander, we're gonna go to Ison after
You
all.
don't know. I can teach her the sword.
She can barely hold a fork.
Yeah, but you don't need to hold a fork to hold
Sorry,
one
that
of those.
was
It's
not my
okay.
accent.
Like-
In Russia, we have everything. Okay, yes. She can barely hold a fork. What is
Well,
she going
I'm
to do?
already
It's still not the right
started.
accent, I can't do
I
it.
don't have any problems with her
Oh, I
learning
see.
everything
We're-
else.
Oh, I see. You took claim, so I can't teach her my dagger style.
No, I
but
would
you're
love
done
for that
teaching.
because I think it would be. She might.
I have dibs.
Right? Okay. I
As
will
you
do it
smack the
after your
table,
dip.
again, the fork comes up.
Unnatural. Perfect.
Okay, I guess it's your turn then.
I was the one who saved her. I will teach her sword.
Good.
Okay.
And then we will teach her pole arm. Haha.
And then we will teach her dagger.
Or in between. I don't care.
We can tie a dagger to the pole arm.
Hey, honey.
Now she
That's
has
called
a
a spear.
She looks.
You say you dumb, but you clever.
She seems slightly
When
alarmed.
it comes to warfare,
She looks at Jose, and Jose is like peeling another apple, and he's like,
You'll learn them all. Don't worry.
Only if you want to, though.
You'll want to.
She is very good.
if I'm to accompany you,
I mean, Ison's been at war for quite some time. She'll need to know how to fight if we go to
I
Ison.
don't want to be a burden.
You won't be. That's why we're going to teach you not to be a burden.
And she jams the fork back in the table.
Yes.
So there you
Yes.
go. Josefina
I am
material.
For those of
frowning
you
on the
looking
table.
around, you see Augustine in the kitchen doing like a.
The table.
The table's fine. It gets more damage when she eats.
That's not.
Okay, those scorch marks got there how?
Not me. I have to have a fire to make the scorch marks.
The candles are not fire.
No. They're not. I don't mess with the candles on the table. I know better.
Just sit down.
I don't flame where I eat.
So yes, so
Are we still doing
Hexenberg.
phrasing? Is that the
Yeah, the boys are just like, you're gonna drop a bomb like that and then go on like 20 aside.
What is meaning flaming?
the thing she do?
And so she just goes.
See what they say.
Yep.
well, the mission hasn't changed.
Has Jose seen me do that before?
Yeah, no, he's been in
I'm
combat.
pretty
with us
sure
a couple
both of
times.
them.
Yeah.
So like the two Ison sort of pull back a little, but like they just look back like with an appraising look. The knife gets dislodged from the table again as the flame goes up.
The fork.
The multiple startlings
I was
probably
getting it all out at once.
getting
Okay.
little feats of strength. Right?
It's also a little bit of, you flinched, sort of thing. Just got to get, you learn when reaction is necessary and when it is not.
Now, if you see what I'm doing it wrong. So
What are you doing wrong? What? I'm looking around.
now that makes me just want to pull the dagger. Wait, but I won't. I don't do it.
It was a
Right.
fork. Unless you put a dagger in too.
No,
It's a dagger
no,
fork.
it's fork.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Hexenberg. Hexenberg.
Yes. Is
So yes, we have a need for somebody with his specific skills.
I can't imagine what you would need because Hexenwerk is dark work.
Zhenya fixes him with a dark stare.
I do lean in and I'm like, if these men are going to travel with us as family, perhaps they should know the mission.
Well, we are helping someone who is at the edge, close to death.
So you need someone who knows death.
So I am told.
They exchange a couple words between each other in Ison and say, I'm no expert, but legends say Hexenwerk came from those who want to fight fire with fire. They learn from the beasts and the monsters that stalk the land in order to know how to combat them. Some say they eat them to absorb their power.
Can't say that's the strangest thing I've ever heard of.
That makes sense.
It was like just like Zhenya laughed at Eugene for laughing children in the forest. Fatty stories.
Got my head.
Comes from the fairy tale beast.
Right.
No, like after
Come from the one who was an elephant
Yeah.
like a moment ago.
the snake who
That's
screams
made
like
up.
an elephant. Yeah. Yeah, after Rethold says, "Oh, that makes sense," and you're like, "Lol, lol, 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 lol," and his head just cocks. He's like, "Okay,
Well,
okay, boomer."
But that's the result.
Yeah.
Some of them live in that space between life and death.
then that is probably exactly what we need.
I look over at Jose, excited.
So Jose's like eating his apple like slowly, and like he's just like
It's like
somebody's telling him like a ghost story by the campfire, and like he looks at Rethold and then straightens up, and suddenly he's like, "Yes, no, we should be excited about this. You're right. You're right." He doesn't know why, but like his demeanor changes.
You're going to lead that boy into very difficult places.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and that is why we prepare. That is why we prepare them. Whap! And I slam the table next to the fork, so that they come back, so that we come back,
I have to come back.
so that our places at the table are preserved, assured, and we will feast.
That's crazy.
You hear it.
Ha ha!
You hear a resounding yes from the end of the table.
Invest, and Zhenya says, your warriors showing.
And I'm like, I check my pants. I'm like,
Jimena's just staring, but she reaches over and gets like a roll.
I'm like, Ode, good. There's all this slinking around and plotting and planning. No. I want to stand in front of a creature drooling and punch it in its nose.
I mean, I've done this many times.
We need to do it more.
From what I understand in Iceland, there's a lot of opportunity for that there.
Oh, yes.
I mean...
Okay, in the end, are you going to help us or are you not going to help us?
We're bound by contract. We go where you go.
No, we were going
Great.
anyway.
I haven't been to the motherland in 7 years.
I would like you to come.
It's been a while since I've been home too.
I can't go home. They burned it down.
I can't
There
go
is-
home because they would kill me or own me.
Somewhere in the distance, like you hear somebody.
Everyone
playing
would be
a
so
horn.
happy if I went home.
Oh.
Take back over the inn.
I do wonder.
Veronica would make cakes. It would be wonderful to go back home.
Maybe we can go back there after we go to Iceland when she wakes up.
She will wake up.
I cannot go home yet.
Everyone. No one can go home but Shannon.
No one can go home.
Well, everyone would be so happy if I could.
No
I
one's
don't have a
allowed
home
to
to
go
go
home.
to.
I love this game.
As you're having this conversation, the front door unclicks and Xavier comes in and puts his hat under his shoulder. Seems to be carrying an envelope and then is about to hand it out, but doesn't seem to know who he should hand this. It basically just...
Do you know what language it's written in?
Castilian, monsieur. And he just hands you the...
That is a
It helps, it helps narrow it down. It's all good.
Roll me a wits plus notice, since you've seen that handwriting before. There is no signature at the bottom, only what looks like an ink drawing of a bird in flight carrying a dagger.
Those are our boys.
4.
Very likely, this was written by Ricardo. And it basically just says, if you are available, I will come by your estate in the morning.
Thanks.
Leadership has requested an audience before they depart the city. As I hear, we shall be departing soon. I thought time was of the essence. And that's basically all there is. Just the bird in flight carrying a dagger.
Ricardo's going to come in the morning.
Oh.
Because the crows want to see us before we leave. Apparently. It doesn't give many details.
Between two grunts, as she's trying to pull the fork again from the table, she says, "Oh, you know more birds."
We know a lot of birds.
We know
Well,
a
these
lot
ones
of
are
people.
not actual birds. They call themselves birds, but they're not like this one.
I'm not actual bird.
You turn into an actual
I'm
bird.
an elephant. As we all well know.
I just say get used
And
to
a
it.
super adorable filled mice. Mouse.
I've seen her-
death.
I've seen her be a mouse. I've seen her be a bird. I've seen her be a bear.
A horse.
A horse.
An owl.
Did I see you be an owl?
Oh,
No, I was a hawk. So I was a horse, and then I started changing into a hawk with
Oh, yeah,
botched.
you were.
So I was a weird, like, hippogriff for a minute.
You were
Yeah,
gross,
I've seen her
like
being-
David Cronenberg
I've seen her
Pegasus
being-
for a second.
Being terrifying, awful creatures. Also, you just have to get used to it. It took me a while.
It takes a minute.
I'm used to it now, though. Although I'm never sure if it's her or not. Might just be some other bird. Some other
I just yell at every bird I see now.
I mean, the bear is obvious because I've never seen that kind of bear before, but the rest are. At any moment, it could be her.
I think that's racist.
That bird with hooves.
They all look the same.
Well, yes, the boys are basically like, yeah, if you need our assistance, we'll be glad to accompany you.
Good.
We know, we have not been in a long time, but we know a bit about the motherland, so we'll be happy to offer whatever knowledge we can.
It's much appreciated. I know that you are on contract, as you say, but I prefer to know that you also want to go.
Oh, this beats the previous assignment by a long shot.
They were pretty up.
I wonder if they have any proclivities concerning the transportation arrangements.
We're going to be on pirate ship. Is that the problem?
See? Again, so clever.
You see, I'm not in big like pirates.
Oh, calm down. It's not that. You hear the word pirate, it's not scary. They're not scary. They're fine.
That sounds fantastic.
The heaven on them, it is scary.
And to be fair, they are privateers, not technically pirates.
Yes, so do not use the other B word.
Sure.
They're legal pirates.
Boys like this will be no issue.
Wonderful. I'm going back upstairs.
Do you turn back into a bird first?
No, I
I'm
tried
just
back
kidding.
I've been bird enough today.
Good evening.
I'm like, Jenya, you forgot your plate.
No.
Okay.
She goes back upstairs.
Okay.
So does everybody know then that they're coming? Does she know? Point to it.
Oh, that's why I said I wasn't worried about them.
Okay.
Because they're gonna come whether they like it or not.
Understood.
The dog barks.
No, yes, you know you're coming. That's fine. That's
Barks
okay.
again.
Yes.
Like, starts like
Good.
fussing around like a dog is about to go on a walk.
Yes, okay. All right then. All the Jose's outside for some exercise. Okay, come on. I'm like, that includes you. And it's like the girl. I'm like, come on.
She actually grabs the fork with her and sort of follows you outside. Jose's on his feet immediately. The dog is already at the door.
Yeah.
All right. Any other actions you want to take in the evening?
Just hanging out with the empty shell of my sister, telling her stories.
Oh yeah, that's a tragic as fuck jump cut from me hurting the Jose's outside.
She looks
so good.
more peaceful, but still in a deep sleep.
Yeah.
Like periodically, like you sort of check on her, and she's breathing, like as if she's just sleeping very deeply.
Did we have any sort of deal with this witch or anything, or did we already make that deal?
What witch?
The one that we got her from.
No, I bested
What's your face?
I bested the spirit or the angel creature. We don't have a deal. I literally ripped her from its bonds.
Okay, yeah.
Which is why she's in a catatonic state.
Yeah.
Right now.
But I thought we also...
No. She said, "You won this time." Or the
She let us
creature...
go.
Yeah, the creature said, "You won this time, but next time it will be harder."
And then we killed the general. Or the captain.
The
Or
husband?
the Duke?
Yeah.
No.
So the wife is still about.
The wife is still about.
Yeah.
In fact, she was at the party.
Yeah.
Right.
With her husband.
And we made a deal with her at the time to get away. But did we ever follow up on that?
I don't think we made a deal with her at all. I don't know
The
what
deal
this-
was basically that you cowed her into submission.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I ripped up an iron gate, and then everybody else was like, "Look at my trick shots."
Yep.
And then,
Yeah,
I dug my heels in and ripped her out of the embrace.
No,
Like Genia was basically taking her away and taking damage the whole way through. Yeah, you met with the crone. The crone basically told you, like, you know, as long as she's sleeping, this thing will try to chase her and take her back.
Okay. Alright. Well, have to worry about that. Alright, cool. Kind of, maybe. We'll see.
Just one more thing. No slat boards in this time period, unfortunately.
We could invent them.
I don't know what this is.
Stop knocking them off.
Yes. For those of you still awake, you hear
They're in order.
hearty sounds outside of Rethold's training regiment with the Jose's. The dog is loving that shit.
Well, yeah, every time I knock someone's weapon out of their hand, he gets to go fetch it, so.
That's right.
Yep.
That's how my mom talks to animals.
And with that, we wrap up for the evening. Wake up in the morning, the smell of amazing food.
Everyone else comes down. Jimena's already at the table.
That's right.
She's been awake ever since she heard the oven turn on.
Yep.
She heard the firelight. She's like, ha ha!
In fact, Jimena, at the crack of dawn, Ricardo was there with you. So both of you guys at the table, even before the food is ready, sort of shooting the shit. You're sort of exchanging memories of breakfast recipes for your specific regions of Castile, because he's from the north. And he's like, well, this is what my mom used to do. And you're sort of one-upping one another on what is the ideal breakfast food, while Augustina is just busy. The food gets served, and then all of you can awake and join in this conversation.
Nope, I'm still really hurt.
Yep.
Just bleeding out at the table. It's fine.
Pretty much.
Everything's fine. I have a real sister to do it on now. I'm not constantly throwing you in baths and
Right.
poulticing.
Well, you should have healed the dramatic.
Wait, do it? How does it work?
From resting, you should have healed one of your dramatics.
No, I heal up to the dramatic.
Yep.
Right? Okay.
They're stub gates.
And then. Oh, shit. Okay, I'm right here. But I'm still, like, hurt. I still have one dramatic wound.
Yeah, that's not terrible. One dramatic wound is like it's almost like your heroic uniform.
Yeah.
Alright.
That's the one that gives
I'm
you
sore.
bonus to dice and not penalties. Rethold is always that hurt.
He does it on purpose.
Permanently.
Yes. Yes, I have some gnarly scars that just never heal.
Mine just knit back together. So I have gnarly scars, but
Yep.
everything is quite healed.
They just closed up.
Yeah.
I actually come down the stairs and I'm like working an arm, like a shoulder that's stiff. Yeah, because like Jose may or may not have got a good one in last night, but I would never say as much. And
You're getting old.
yeah, we all are. And
Ricardo sort of gets to his feet as more of you come down and comes to greet you. Genia, if you do come down,
I think I'm the last one to come down.
you get a big hug.
Yeah. Lift.
He doesn't fight it. Lets himself be lifted off the ground.
By someone 1.5 feet shorter than him.
That's right.
now, we can't take him too. We're already taking the whole army.
This is not an army.
He sort of looks a little dejected. He's like, I thought we had agreed.
Yeah, I thought he was coming.
Oh, he is coming with us?
Yes!
Oh, JK.
I'm like, why are you taking away all my favorite things?
I have a
He's
debt to
the
repay.
one who knows.
No,
the
yeah,
guy.
he knows where the guy's from. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
Just
Like,
kidding.
we can't not take him with us. He's our connection.
No, we're gonna do this the right way.
We just got some random Isom dudes going to be like, you know this person,
That's
you know
right.
this
You
person?
know this guy named
You guys
Klaus?
know each other,
You know
right? I
Klaus?
mean,
You know Klaus?
Hans?
Have you
Right.
ever met Hans?
This is
How about
Dresden
Fritz?
Part 2. It's like, do you guys want to go to
Fritz.
Avalon? Right. Have you ever seen what that looks like?
No.
That's right.
But yeah, like he sort of sits with you guys and has breakfast. It's a very sort of joyous occasion, right? Like no real business being discussed, right? Just chit-chatting. He does ask you how your sister is doing.
The same. She is peaceful.
So, when are we actually leaving?
Probably as soon as they're ready to go. I think we still need to see the ship.
Yeah, we haven't actually gone to talk to the people. They don't know that we're coming with them yet.
Oh, well. So maybe we should do that. After we see the crows?
Yeah, after we have our little summit.
When are we doing that?
Well,
Like
we can
As soon as they show up.
we can take care of this as early as possible. If you don't mind, we have a meeting place in mind.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just wanting to know if there's time for me to stop by my shop.
There should be.
I'll just meet you there.
He writes an address on a piece of parchment and hands it to you. Roll me wits and notice. Or scholarship.
Okay, I think those are... I don't know, I notice is better.
I had an uncle, friend of the family, that anytime my great-grandmother would make nopales and eggs, and anytime that wasn't actually at like 8 a.m., somehow he would end up at our house. He never knew, like, they didn't have each other's number or anything. He just all of a sudden he would show up. And
I almost asked what
it
the
was,
difficulty is. Oh my God.
I was like, how do you know? He's like, I just drive by the house, and if I can smell it, I pull over.
Oh.
She always had those handmade tortillas as well. And we were bad Mexicans, so it was always the flour tortillas for everything. Never corn tortillas for anything. I was like, everything's a burrito. Why wouldn't you just always make it a burrito? Taco shit falls out everywhere. No, burritos.
Linus was being
Superior.
sad because Savannah and I prefer corn.
Oh.
And he was just like, oh. And so his mother was like, I will go and I will get you flour. And she came back with corn. So now we have double the fucking corn tortillas in the house. I'm like,
It's like, yeah, you want the white ones, not the yellow ones.
Yeah, right?
well, she got white corn tortillas.
Oh.
So it was just like, yeah.
There is
Done got.
no question. This is the address of their restaurant.
Ah.
Oh, familiar place.
We can go see Sebastian. I have to get my hair done. Her hair is shorter, by the way. She had to cut some of it off because of how many times she had changed the
So
color.
fucking fried. So
It's
gnarly.
back to black. It's just like shoulder length now instead of
Yeah.
longer.
Keep chopping.
It's okay, you'll have plenty of days on a ship to grow that
Oh
shit out.
yeah. To get that good,
She has it braided up so that you can't tell how short it is.
Yeah.
that good
No
sea
one can
air,
know.
that sea salt treatment.
Yeah, I might have to cut mine if it gets so long. We'll see.
I just keep braiding mine.
It's like
Yeah, proper Viking. Like you need to have like your grooming kits. It's always tickles me when they find those like archaeological, like the writings of some of those English monks and folks, where they're like, they're so good looking, they will tempt our women away from us because they actually groom
yeah.
and comb their
Well,
hair
yeah, it
and their
was-
beards.
If it was grounds for divorce.
Yeah.
If
Your
your
husband was shaggy.
yeah, if your
Yeah.
wife didn't like the way you like, if she thought you smelled funny, she can be like, no, you can't come in here.
It's like these guys are coming off boats and they smell good and they look like, you know, they don't look unkempt.
Yep.
They tempt all of our women away
Yep. Mm-hmm.
from our swamp asses.
By hook or by crook.
So yeah, Ricardo basically says we can leave
Swamp ass.
just for
But.
Reminding me of what I told you about what I learned.
Yeah.
that's right. The car.
You tell me he's a soggy bottom boy. Is that what you're saying?
We told a soggy bottom.
Nice.
It's bad. It gets you
It's
lots
gross.
of
I'm
points.
thinking about it right now.
Taking
It's
off.
gross.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what happened? So what happens at your shop?
I don't know what happens at my shop. Oh well.
Ricardo just basically outlines before you leave Marilena that like he'll let you leave separately. Like he'll go back on his way and meet you guys out there just for security reasons. So not walking all across town.
Oh, you better save room for lunch then. Ha! The silence is even better.
Because she's eating.
So since I don't know when we're leaving, I think mostly what I want to do
Shortly.
What'd you do?
Mostly what I want to do is try to arrange some sort
the
of
sweat?
like protocol
It's like
because
oily.
I don't know how long I'm going to be
They do
gone,
that.
but I'm
Probably
probably
'cause it's
going
getting
to
warm.
try to send something back like once a month.
All right.
But also, not have it go to like I have to figure out something.
It's like icing.
Can I just like roll something to be like, here we can do it this way?
Well, so that
For all
we
those
can
chocolate.
summarize some of this. If you bring this up to
It
Gianni
still
or
tastes fine.
Alicia, they will tell you that they have a direct tap to Salvadora.
Okay, so I can
And
just send it over there.
You can basically,
That's actually what I was going to suggest, so that's good.
if you talk about it with them, that's the suggestion that Gianni will make. Is like, yeah, send communication to her. That way, it doesn't come directly here. She'll filter it and make sure that it gets to us.
The guild is also secure, and I have 2 different puppet companies in town now. So like, there are plenty of options.
Nice. Okay, so
We got fronts on fronts.
fronts on fronts on fronts. I
Yeah.
guess other than that, like
We built this city on fronts.
I feel like the shop right now is in some sort of soft opening situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still
Um,
working out.
I think I'll ask some of the women to try to look for contracts, especially people that need uniforms or vestments made, because that was kind of the point.
Right. Between your 3 ladies, like you see that the tasks are sort of, they have like some sort of internal system that they used to work with each other. Alicia is the sort of manager, like she's the organizer.
Okay.
Nicoletta, the youngest, seems to be the face. She's probably who's going to be talking to folks and securing potential clients. And then Lavinia, the eldest, is basically like the master tailor. All 3 of them are weavers, but you know, she's the one that will make sure that you have quality products on your shelves.
Okay.
You know, Marlena,
Yeah.
in these uncertain, politically unstable times, it's absolutely the time when ladies of good breeding should be hiring more protection, and they need to deliver those yahoos. So, you know, where else to come?
I thought that we already arranged that.
No, yeah, that's what, you know, just for them to sell more.
Ah,
Mm-hmm.
right. Okay.
I'm sure one of your ladies is at least that clever.
Yep. One thing that is new today is that there's a freshly painted sign that says Il Duce getting hyped up at the storefront by some of Gianni's workers.
I love it. I'm very approving.
But yeah, the gist of that, like you get a good sense that they'll be able to function, and they always have Salvador as sort of a second backing. She's an investor in your business at this point,
Yeah.
so you know she can be a troubleshooter for you while you're gone.
I don't think there's anything else. Okay. Right.
After a moment at the house, you know, Ricardo finishes his food, gets up, so puts his cloak and his hat on, and he's like, I will hit the road now. I will meet you at the restaurant. Looking forward to chatting in just a minute.
Absolutely, we will be right and thirsty.
I will have the drinks prepared. And he sort of turns on his heels and heads out. So if you have some last minute prep, feel free to take care of it right now. Otherwise, we'll cut to the meeting place.
Can't really think of anything else that I would want to do that isn't already being taken care of. I mean, we've got the carpentry. There's a locksmith too, right? I forgot if I asked about that.
Yep.
Okay.
Because Gianni has basically
He's got that
people.
figured out. He's a general contractor.
Yep.
I basically tell Jose and Josefina that the only things they're allowed to bring are what they can wear. And even then, if you can't roll down the back steps of the house while wearing it, and then get up and run across the yard and back, then it's still too much. To keep that in mind. And they have however many days until we leave to figure it out.
You think I'm not bringing you knitting projects? You gotta.
Look, you teach your way, I teach mine.
You can probably roll off the back porch.
I mean, I don't think Josefina
With my
had
knitting
that much stuff
project.
with her anyway, because we stole her from the party.
Well, I know, but like, the lesson is there.
Yep. When
Actually, good point. Maybe she should go shopping.
I can take her shopping.
We have work to do right now.
I can take her shopping.
Okay, how about...
Afterwards.
Yeah, we'll split the difference. Okay. I pull out 2 little piles of gold.
Well,
And I
so my
slide
understanding
one-
for shopping,
I slide
not
one
that
towards you,
needs money.
and I slide
Yeah,
one
I was like,
towards...
we don't need money. Also, I have my own. I don't need your money. I have my own money.
I take the stack of gold that I had, and I clink it next to the... And I'm like, go get some things that you want beforehand. And then later, she'll teach you things she knows.
But we shouldn't let her out of our sight because people might know who she is.
She's got Jose.
Okay, fine.
Jose stands up straight.
Do you want to...
Are we pairing them together? No, I'm just
matchmaking?
kidding.
No.
Shipping?
No.
I also
Are
do
we
not say that.
cheating?
I don't care, but cool. No, not particularly. And I meant the dog.
That's Josecito. It's different.
Their bark.
One has thumbs. Both are my children.
You see the look of pride on Jose's face. The dog is chasing his tail.
Licking his asshole. with her leg in the air. Once you can do that, you will be on equal footing.
That's weird.
You see him giving like a slightly dirty look at the dog,
Setting up the competition now.
making me look bad.
From
Fucking dog.
Then he starts trying to lick his own ass.
So I'm like, you got the good point. Maybe we should change your hair.
I can do that.
In the meantime, wear a hood.
Yes,
You're-
Mr. Mendez, I will.
As a woman of good breeding and modesty or something, yeah, you should probably in that way, people don't know.
She almost raises a protest of, I'm not.
That
but,
it's all covered.
She doesn't. She gives up before the thought is fully formed.
Yeah, fake it till you make it. Yeah.
With those assignments made,
Yeah, I take I give us a circuitous route, and while we stroll, I'm like, should we go in through the back or just in through the front like normal? You think?
Through the front like normal?
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not,
You guys do normal things?
On occasion.
yeah, as you step up front, there's a line again. Like the restaurant is super busy, but there's a couple ushers in. Like one of them sort of like spots you from afar and sort of gestures you. You get a couple
Cut the line.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
VIP stuff.
You know,
No, yeah, we stroll straight in.
it's all but, that they have like the little velvet cord that they pull to let you in, right? And the moment you step into the entrance, you notice
Trying not to make any sip.
Carlos of the house staff
Nice.
actually just bows and signals
He's up in the window, actually. No, not anymore.
Oh, he's going back up.
Sorry.
for you to
Crying
get
is too
into
far.
one of the back alcoves. One of the usual ones. It's never the same one. They move around the back of that building, but always in the same general idea.
No, absolutely.
And as you arrive closer and closer to the table, you hear some raucous laughter at the table. Sebastian is already seated with his hat off. He's using a towel to wipe the sweat of his bald head as he's just laughing. You see the general of the crows sitting at a table with a mug of ale, and his second in command slamming her hand into the table as she seems to be exchanging pleasantries with Sebastian. Ricardo is also there, just wiping at his eyes. Who knows what was said, but apparently it was a good one.
I give out a shout of joy and frustration that I missed the joke.
Sebastian actually jumps to his feet and drops his hat on a chair and comes and gives you like a full-on hug.
Oh yeah.
And basically said, we'll tell it to you later.
Oh yeah, no, you better. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And like as the hold breaks off, I sort of like orbit him towards Jimena because I heard that noise earlier that you made when he was mentioned. So just sort of like, and then I move his hat and sit down.
All of you who are within range, you get a big old bear hug.
Is that a challenge?
From that,
I mean, I think Jenny would think so.
yeah, from the tall chocolate man.
I don't hug bears.
Not even before.
No,
Strictly business.
it's transactional.
I don't think that it takes me that long to range.
No, you'll arrive at the tail end of this, and like you see, as Sebastian finishes hugging Zhenya and Jimena politely, like you see him like sort of spot you as you're getting accompanied by Carlos, and he's just like basically waving for you, and
Oh, jeez.
Hi.
You
Nice.
terrified Megan for a second there.
Awesome.
the door opened, and I don't know.
Need a handbag?
Noise
I
happens.
will after everyone leaves. There's more stuff
Oh.
in the car. I can get it later.
Stuff we can't know about.
Yeah, we're starting the dildo regimen.
You're allowed.
Yeah. Whatever you gotta do.
I have feelings. Anyway, so we all got coats.
Oh yeah, and you get the seat at the table. Ricardo actually stands up when you come in.
And
Jenya
make
just
sure
like
my
pulls a
hug
chair
is
next to
like
his.
properly
You already
short.
have a cold drink pulled
Yeah.
for you.
You managed
good
to
to
turn
have
away for
friends.
like a...
Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Nice.
I am my mother's daughter.
Alonso actually gets to his feet
I see
and
Leo. See Leo.
basically, like shakes your hand like much more, protocol based. Beata doesn't even get up. Like she's smoking her big curvy pipe and she's leaning back like in her chair. Like
If I'm anywhere close, it's just a back slap, sort of situation. Yeah. But if not, then hey, no, she's doing great. It's all good.
if you come close, you get the good back slap too. She's just not standing up, and she's basically like Normally Alonso would make me, stand up and salute, but I had to wear a dress last night, so I have...
He's got you for a while, yeah.
Right.
I have it right here in my notes.
So,
Kiana is wearing a dress. She hates it.
Mhm.
She hates it.
She was like, so I earned some points.
That's right.
Why are you so
That's too bad. I think a battle skirt would suit you just fine. They're very freeing.
I don't know. Judgment's still out on that one.
Hey,
They get tangled in legs.
not when you cut the slits in them properly.
See?
I don't know about that.
I just get close enough
Just
that
wriggle
I
their
don't
nose
have
and
to
drink
move
a
that much.
Phrasing? Are we still doing phrasing? Is
I
that
don't
the thing?
understand what this phrase is.
She keeps saying that.
I keep on saying those
know
words.
what
You were the only one who was
I keep
ever
saying
doing
those
it.
words. I do
Yeah.
not think it means what I think it means.
Yeah.
In the accent. Thank you. Yes, there we go.
Yep.
It's from a TV show. Don't worry about it. It's it's an older show with maybe the references in current enough. It's okay.
So as you get seated,
Ocean madness because you haven't been on the sea for a long time.
Carlos steps
No
into the
shit.
alcove and is sort of posted on the corner, just nothing in his hands. He's just watching the proceedings.
If I notice him, I'm like, hey, you remembered my drink?
I absolutely do. And he sort of walks back, just to look outside of the alcove and just intercepts somebody coming in and then drops your drink.
He did remember. Any old thing. Ah!
And you.
Yep. So after
It's gonna
some.
Tell him to move. Basil. Basil. Thank you.
That face.
Bella mean-mugged me again.
Yeah, probably deserved it.
She was about to start licking her butthole, and then I stood up, and then she moved. I was like, I don't know what she's talking about. And then stopped at the edge of this carpet and started licking again. I'm like, bitch.
She's testing your patience.
You know,
She was sitting on my chair and I just moved the chair
Sasha
around
is pretty
slowly.
quiet,
to
other
see
than
what would
when she
happen.
meows, because she has that ridiculously loud meow. But when that bitch is licking her butthole, just
No,
it's
God.
so juicy sounding. I can always tell the difference when she's just grooming herself and when she's there. And I'm like, why?
She wants to make sure it's clean, so she uses
Why?
it.
It's because it's not fur.
Sorry. Okay.
Yep.
It's because it's
It's
more
so wet
it's
sounding
more contact.
all the time. And I'm like, Sasha, stop! And she just looks at me like, no, you stop.
Yeah, right there into the camera. Thank you. Yes.
Megan is taking aggravated damage right now.
Oh my gosh,
from
how
this.
many blood points, Benny? So many blood points
Oh my
needed.
god.
This will take several days to heal back.
It's so fucking juicy.
The word keeps coming back.
At least it's not the M word.
Tony.
Don't do it.
What?
Tony.
What?
Tony.
What? So I'm drinking
Yep.
my drink,
Oh,
and
no,
we're
there's some-
having.
There's some good pleasantries getting exchanged, and then after a little bit, Alonso sort of stands up and says, on behalf of my organization, we owe you our thanks. The reason why we have a future is because of the actions you've taken.
I sort of have a more tame look of Zhenya's face, and I put my hand to where the necklace is, and I'm like,
What actions?
yeah, I'm like, I understand the sentiment, but that's what family does now.
Beatrice.
So they will do the thing. I did the thing. You don't have to thank me.
Regardless,
From the mouth of babes.
it was quite a feat.
They
It
are,
was a fun evening.
they are expressing how much it means to them.
We got quite a bit out of it ourselves, don't worry.
This is also
An elephant thinks I'm an elephant.
I need more drinks.
But you
Beata
saw her
just
as
like-
the elephant, didn't
Did
you?
I?
Didn't they?
No, you made us walk down the trail away to get away from you.
Yeah, but didn't I like come back up to you guys?
Did you?
I don't remember.
Oh my god.
I don't think
remember
we
if
saw
you
that
told
part.
them that.
Well, we
but
weren't there.
Yeah.
It
We
was
couldn't
just-
understand
yeah.
any of it, regardless.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
It was
elephant
them two
sounds.
and Evine was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's way
You might
fucking
know.
funnier if this is a surprise to me, so
Yeah.
that's what I'm going
Yeah.
with.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Since when?
Since I had to talk to him.
So this whole time he could have elephant too?
No, just now.
Wait.
It-
I have more questions.
Beata is just like cackling
It's
through the
not
entire part.
instant. I have to learn. I have to be calm.
It's like animals.
She takes a puff of the pipe and then she turns to Alonzo and was like, I told you they were all crazy and I'm loving every second of it. Can we keep them?
I lean over to Sebastian. I'm like, tell me if this rings proper. Juan Mendez Esquire, elephant fucker. No, I don't think
believe
so.
it.
No, yeah.
Alonzo coughs. She laughs at it and
There's
she's
too
just
much
like
of a
a.
height difference. How would you get up there?
Well, okay, like the bear makes much more sense.
It makes more sense than an elephant.
I mean, yeah.
You'd need a ladder.
Beata's already like, no. With the proper scaffolding, you could get this done.
Thank you.
You need help.
Thank you. I would, which I think is
No.
suggested
No.
in the
I
scenario.
think she means you need mental.
You need to talk to your gods and sort this out.
They would be jealous. Actually, no. One of them sometimes they come down. Wait, let me see. Is that the right one? Yeah. No, they take the form of different beasts. Yeah. No. Yeah, it don't make sense. Yeah, the bear's more poetic. Oh, okay. I'll stick with that. Yeah. No, you're right.
It's too much shore leave. That's what happens.
I appreciate your encouragement, but no, I think it's better.
Well, I mean-
I'm a creature. I don't understand this.
We can workshop this. Worst case scenario, right on these giraffe, I think they're called.
What is that?
Yeah. What is that?
Boy, you're in for a treat when you come back.
Are they large?
Well, long legs and long neck.
So ferocious hunters.
I don't know.
Do they have big teeth and horns?
I don't think so.
Well, they do have horns, but like
It's
Don't they have big teeth? They're just like not sharp.
yeah, like they have big teeth.
No,
they
but
have
she
horns.
doesn't know.
she's out of her depth.
Yeah.
Like,
She was
Okay,
trying to
well,
help, and then we were
she
like,
probably-
obviously you're the expert. And she was like,
she
I'm
probably saw like drawings a couple of times, and now like she's
Probably,
getting
like,
bombarded with
grossly
questions, and
inaccurate.
she's like, "I said this thing, and now like I'm
Shit.
not fully prepared to defend it."
Oh no. I tried to sound smarter than I was.
No, the
I've walked
definition of
into
that
a
word.
I walked into the trap.
I mean, I'm only familiar
Where
with
you're-
farts.
where
So,
you're
That's fine.
Sorry.
There. That's you.
I think cake pops.
Say nothing?
Yeah,
Because I can't sit in my chair.
you can sit in your chair.
You can.
Yeah.
Where's the
Yeah.
other camera?
It's up there.
No, just the one tonight.
Oh, there's just the one. Okay, take it.
I get too mad when I try and do two so far, and I gotta figure that out before
Why
I
do you
do
get
two.
too mad?
Because the angles and the lighting
Oh.
and the shot.
Yeah.
You need some overhead lighting then, right?
Yes.
Did you happen to find any black lipstick somewhere?
Me?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? Like on me?
Yeah, sure. On you. No.
Oh, well,
I think it's fine.
just around.
Yeah. I misplaced my liquid lipstick.
It's probably in there somewhere. Probably over there somewhere.
Okay. You're like Deanna.
What the put in the chocolate and
So skittish.
Yes.
No.
Okay.
Sure, but what's the point?
So in between the giraffe talk, I'm
Yes.
sure someone
You
is
must
like,
tell me more.
Yeah.
What
no,
is
she's
this creature?
"Where
she's
are they
like-
from? Maybe we just haven't encountered them."
right. There's this whole conversation happening
Unless
now.
it lives in the forest, I don't know what it is.
Did you see?
Yes, I did.
You like it? Uh huh. Alright.
in the middle of this, like Sebastian at some point says, well, we also owe you thanks.
Okay.
And while the task that you performed for our friends here was admirable, there was no public component to it. The task that we gave you was very public indeed, and that's what everybody is talking about this morning. Which
Jimena's like, I did it for you, Sebastian.
Sebastian
Yeah,
actually gets a little somber and basically says, one of our members, in order to get in the way of the church, has stepped forward and taken ownership of the deed. There is a little bit of a hush. And
Wait, who's talking now? I thought it was Sebastian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sebastian basically says, we knew it might have been coming. I know you are aware that one of the Inquisition's agent was on site. One of our agents within the church rank has stated that your name came up as she had recognized you at this party. So we did not give the Inquisition time to mount their narrative and had a rogue element, shall we say, step forward. He will be painted a radical and will be hung by the neck until he dies. But he knows that he does so in order to support the cause.
Are there candles in this room?
Oh yeah.
They all flare up.
I understand. These are what we play with so that we, and by extension, Ushia herself, as well as our partners, do not get splashed by this. Regardless, the Baron had to go. So please, I know that I ask a lot of you, but do not feel this burden all too much.
Who recognized me?
Well, so you would know that Julia Lombardo was there
She
and
sure
faced
was,
off
bitch.
with Evine. You can pretty much surmise that following the botched exchange, they couldn't go public with any of this stuff, so they were very likely intent to pin the murder on you guys, but
I mean, it was me, but, you know,
Yeah.
no one else saw it happen.
now this person painted as a radical secessionist will be flagged for this murder.
That is next on a list of things to do when we come back. It's Julia Lombardo needs to die. Cause she a dumb hoe.
Yeah.
Sebastian basically pours himself a drink and says, I love every one of our supporters like they are part of my own family. In many ways they are. We did not ask anyone to do this. We explained the situation and a volunteer stepped forward.
We get to know who it is, so he's not a faceless person to us.
You will soon enough.
Jen does not like this
Right.
in any way, shape, or form.
Every time things like this happen, I'm like, was it me? Did I mess with fate and something bad happened? That's probably one of the things.
Well,
My legs hurt. That I want to keep.
Take it.
Not
Do it.
wait for Tony to return for the follow-up to this.
Text him, tell him to stop pooping. That's what I do.
That's a tall
I
order.
was like, I don't know if their relationship is at that point yet.
Well, I mean,
Your relationship with him should be at that point. You were
Yeah,
here for like a year.
it's not so much that, but I understand this predicament.
Yes, you of the weak
Ones.
stomach. Or burning stomach, I guess.
That's right.
His stomach wants healthcare for all?
Be nice. It's a nice stomach.
Once the plane is in flight, you can't just land anywhere. You gotta wait. You gotta wait this out.
We're talking about your butt!
How are you?
As usual.
I missed all the early gossip.
Oh, don't worry.
Oh, don't worry, there wasn't any? Or don't worry, you're
there
gonna
was plenty.
Oh boy. You gonna catch me up?
Yeah.
Look, if I try to ask Tony to catch me up, he's only gonna remember like literally less than a quarter of what y'all said.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Probably
true.
should mute that if we're gonna do that.
Yeah, well, we're not.
Oh no, we're not gonna do it right now. No.
Yeah.
Good gods, no.
No.
No, there was plenty.
Damn, Tony's doing that. I'm also gonna go to the bathroom.
Do it.
Not for nearly as
No,
long.
that's the test.
Ow.
I like this flavor.
Thanks. That one's
Those are really
the
good.
blackberry one.
No, I also like this
Oh,
flavor.
okay.
Yeah, no, both were good. Yeah, no, the blackberries are a really good flavor. Although the smell reminds me of grape soda.
Whenever
But
I
it doesn't
s-
actually taste like grape soda.
When I see the can, because it's that purplish color, I think grape as well. Throws me off. Don't like cat.
I thought not get. I can't do it.
That's okay. Apparently, I'm better doing my Scottish accent today than
Hey, it's that kind of a game.
Just run with it. Just run with it. She's having
Scottish
emotions. Yeah, she's having emotions today.
Yeah. Well, she is.
Yeah,
There you go.
that is accurate.
Zhenya's gonna tell Ricardo an epic story of weird creatures in the forest,
Nice.
He's
just for fun.
Just for funsies.
hanging out to your every word. You get a lot of questions about like details.
What it feels like to be a horse.
Right. He's just it's blowing his mind.
And a horse with hawk horse.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Don't get stuck in between. That's the worst thing.
Very strange.
Unfortunately, it happens.
Yeah. Especially when you're trying to change while running.
Yep.
It's too much, man. Take it easy. So, Internet, how was your day today?
Yes,
Yeah.
please tell us.
Right?
Anyone? Anyone? No? You can't see if there's chats on this stupid thing.
So,
Nope.
every time I look at the screen, it looks like I'm just staring into the...
In the void?
Yeah.
We're staring into the void.
Yeah.
Something's
Hello,
over
void.
here.
Hello, void. Be sure to like and subscribe. Ring the notification bell.
So you too can watch when we have quiet moments like this.
Yes,
That's right. I know this is what you live for.
Heck yeah.
You can find the Sneaky Centaurs on Facebook.
I mean, I could just talk about all my pens. Because I got lots of
Leave
pens.
that for your other podcast.
Are you okay?
Fine. Let's see, what else did I miss? Nope.
This note.
Brain's dead.
Okay.
I just wrote, I ask who it is, but I don't know why I wrote that. I ask who is. What did I just ask? I just went to the kitchen to get
Asked
something to drink.
who
Who the person hanging is.
Yep.
Oh! Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. I got you.
Trying to think. Internet has suggestions
For?
what game we should play next.
Oh.
Ooh, wait, you know what? I did actually have that question. Like,
Okay, what's next?
yeah, what are we doing next?
We hadn't decided. We've been playing this for so long.
I mean, don't we have a list somewhere?
we have our own Slack board.
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
we? Yeah.
I
We've
feel
been
like we
talking
talk
about
about
that.
shit like that all the time, but we never actually nail anything down.
Like the
Yeah.
only thing I know about was the vampire thing. Or no, sorry, the werewolf thing. Oh wait, or Vampire 5, or
We've been waiting for your return.
Yeah, sorry.
we were trying to fill
All
out
good.
the silence with talking about what we're gonna play after this.
Oh no!
We should
Silly
just
banter.
enjoy the silence.
No, that's worse. Actually, no, not if
lose subscribers.
not if anyone were to actually watch.
I know.
I was just referencing Depeche Mode.
Yeah.
No one caught it.
No.
Lisa did.
So-
I did
The
not.
other goth.
Oh, if you want it.
Yep.
Anyway,
The industrial goth skipped on that one.
I actually liked that song. Hmm.
So yes,
Okay.
It's,
the
it's good brooding
conversation.
music.
So we're not gonna get to know right away, but we will know soon enough who the hanging bird is.
We yes, while you were stepping away, Tony, what
No,
was
yeah,
basically discussed
I heard the
was
first part of that.
so because Julia was at the party and saw your party there
Right.
in retaliation for screwing over the list, they were trying to be like, oh, they killed the Baron.
I mean, yeah.
Which
And
is true, but
because-
they don't actually know that.
Well, they were not there to see it, right?
Yeah.
They can suspect, but they're not actually witness to that. But before they could create that narrative, the separation movement basically had one of their own step forward and was like, "I did it," and that man is now being labeled as a radical separatist and will be hung for the murder of the Baron.
Sure. No one likes
Sebastian
this.
just basically
No.
mentioned we did not give this assignment. Somebody step forward. But as pained as he is, he was mentioning, well, this is all for the cause.
What's that one?
Well,
Because
just
she's
near
just
your
sitting
stuff.
on my stuff.
Oh, it's Bella.
Yeah.
She's done it. It actually is kind of creepy. She's not sitting on it, she's just sitting
Like, this is my dice back.
After a couple of moments, a couple of the staff from the restaurant bring in what looks like to be a sword, a few military medals that they sort of lay down on one of the alcoves.
Oh gosh.
And basically a wanted poster with a sketch likeness of what looks like a middle-aged bearded man that looks to be Castilian. They drop it on the alcove as well, bow respectfully, and then head out. So with that somber note, Sebastian gets up and raises a glass.
So I'm guessing that's supposed to be who it is.
Yes. And he says, to a real patriot who will die on his own terms rather than in his bed a sick man for the cause.
I stand up.
Show to Zhenya.
I don't know.
Well, hey, now we're standing. I guess I stand.
Like my hand's nowhere near a glass now. And I'm like, no, this is not. I don't think Rethold's clever enough
Or
to articulate. Maybe wits 3.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I have wits 3. So,
I don't know.
one of us is clever enough.
someone's clever somewhere.
Someone was clever in the woods.
Nice.
Just once.
What are you even trying to articulate?
Well,
Yeah.
I think Rethold would say something to the effect of, you don't mourn a warrior's death until they've died a warrior's death. And I'm like, that man isn't on the gallows as we speak yet. So I don't know why we're toasting to it.
That is a fair point.
I think there might be other ways to go about this. I absolutely applaud his bravery to face that for his family. But I definitely don't want someone taking credit for my valor.
Your valor?
Yes, technically it was you.
Then how come you're not more offended than I am?
I'm sad and upset.
Sad's not the thing you should be.
Cool, tell me how to feel about it
You
then.
should be mad.
I am mad.
Then we need to do something about it.
But we don't have time to do it. We can't do everything all at once. We still have to get on a ship to go to Eisen if he's
We
like...
haven't even talked to your people yet.
Well, if you're going
Okay,
to do something,
I guess we're never going to then.
I can't actually help you. I do not have the energy at the moment. You may well kill me, or you, or someone else I know. So,
Or someone we didn't know about till just now.
exactly. That is not to say that you shouldn't do anything. I just will not be able to help in the specific ways that I am known by some to do.
Sebastian lets go of his drink and says, "Look, I asked for the Baron's death. Make no mistake, I have killed this man with my order. This is something that I will have to live with. But it is too early for you to take credit for this action yet. You still have a role to play in this story."
Sorry. I was like, hey, the GM's saying no.
I've been trying to devise the thought process that Zhenya is having.
So I don't think we need to take credit for it, but I definitely don't think this guy does either. My thought right now is to actually start an information campaign to be like, cool, if he's the guy who did it, prove it.
This is like medieval Europe. They don't need to prove it as far as they're concerned.
Yeah, but there's two policing factions here. There's the guard, who I believe are technically the people who should have taken care of the Baron and should be investigating the murder. And then there's the Prophet Sword, who are just mad because their secret rendezvous got fucked up. And if a public opinion outcry can force the hand of either, that can lock it up and prevent him from getting hung. So I'm thinking that I want to walk out and mobilize the other Jose's to start passing out pamphlets that say basically bring forth the body. Like, prove that this guy is the guy who masterminded and managed to take out a baron in the middle of his own house during a party. That's why I'm like, I don't think Rethel has the full situation to articulate all that, but that's what Tony's thinking.
Yeah, but then if they investigate, won't they eventually figure out that it was us that did it?
We won't be here. They will target people that we know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but most of them can defend themselves at least. And we were pretty good about what we did.
I have an unpopular opinion,
What is that?
but as a soldier in a war, sometimes you have to do large things that you don't come home from to make sure everyone else goes home too.
I am perfectly fine with honoring his wishes.
I would have put myself in the same position if it was offered to me.
I will say that sometimes fate is cruel, and if you try to avoid your fate too long, perhaps I know that I have messed with it enough for the time being. Perhaps this is simply what he was meant to do.
Sebastian looks about like 20 years older suddenly. I don't know if it's the lighting, but his beard and mustache look much grayer. And he sort of shakes his head at Genia's statement and says, "You have the right of it. The unfortunate fact is that this is a war, and one that we cannot win without sacrifice. The fact that you care about our family touches me deeply. And the fact that you would go to such lengths to try to save them makes me proud to call you as friends. But you are special, and in the times to come, if you are still willing to assist us, you will need a free hand."
Rethel pulls out one of his forks and starts picking at the bones of one of the creatures on the table, and sort of hums to himself while Sebastian is saying that sort of stuff. And I spend a hero point to act as a skald to use my satyr ability. Yes or no? Is there a chance to save that man?
There might be,
Gosh, I suppose.
but I am not sure this is what he wants. Salvador shows early signs of the wasting disease. He wants to die on his feet for the cause. Time may not be kind to him and provide him with that purpose.
So the bones tell me yes, the bones tell me no.
I mean, there's a chance to save his life.
So the bones will say yes.
But he doesn't want to be saved, so.
And can they convey that? Or is it just yes or no question?
Well, you can infer a bit from the bones for context.
And this like wishbone is turned a particular way. It must mean this.
In theory, the Satyr ability does give that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess if Sebastian articulates that more plainly, I didn't realize that was part of the equation. Rethold sits down and doesn't say anything else.
Sebastian sort of respects that silence. The crows, after a long silence, are the ones that pick it back up. And Alvaro basically says, "We will make back for the mountain passes before the end of today. We're leaving town, probably for a long while, but we have already established a route with Madame Salvador thanks to your assistance in these matters. So I thank you."
You're welcome.
That's what had to be done.
There's a clearing of the throat as, you know, the mood at the table sort of goes definitely towards the somber. Sebastian is deep into his drink. And then after a while, Beata's sort of like, I think it might be a good time for us to head out. Yeah, maybe.
Like, as soon as that's floated, Rethold stands up again and sort of like adjusts his belt and, you know, is waiting to see if anyone else is ready to go.
Yeah.
As you indicate willingness to leave, like most people sort of get to their feet. Sebastian stays seated for a little bit longer and then gets up. And again, just quick embrace to any who are close by. Doesn't really say anything. Ricardo actually stands up, exchanges a couple words with Alvaro, and then with Alonso, and then goes around the table and stands with your team.
I look over at Sebastian. I'm like, before I forget, the governor's man, the lieutenant?
Yes, David.
He's good people.
He's a difficult one to figure out. But if you pin him as such, I trust that.
I sort of look to Jinya and him in on that one. I'm like,
I have an opinion on it.
I don't think I read that guy.
no, you weren't there for that.
Oh yeah, I wasn't there. Never mind.
She just doesn't like him because he's more tame.
Yeah.
No, yeah, which is why I'm like, did we get anything on him? I feel like Rethel got a boss role on that one.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah. No, you got a pretty good
yeah.
read, and he has a solid reputation. You would know this from the context. Part of the reason why the gap may be wider with them is that the governor is sort of there to take power away from
Odessa.
the Grande, which is
from
Ushia, right?
Oh, this is the lieutenant that is a guard captain, and I kept going, is he a captain or a lieutenant?
Exactly,
Okay.
he's the captain who's a lieutenant.
Got it.
So I sort of like get a nod and a grimace from these two, and I'm like, I think at the very least he is honest, and that is more than you can say for most, especially for the governor.
Yes. I don't think Perez wants to be here.
Well, no.
I think he would much rather be in any other province, but he is stuck with the job.
Well, who knows?
You may be right. Maybe Donovan cares about this place as we do.
I look over at the alcove with the wanted sign, and I just sort of say, I'm like, seeing of your brother, I don't think our people will. And I sort of stalk out after that.
As you step out, you hear a sort of almost whispered, right, from Sebastian, and again, his voice sounds much more raspy, like he just took a couple decades all at once. And you hear I will sing of all of them.
Jenny gives him a clap before she goes, because she's seen many people fall. Just for this reason.
You basically get a tap on your hand as you clap him. There's no words really exchanged, but you know the meaning is there. He actually goes to Jimena as well before Jimena leaves, and sort of grabs you by your shoulder. Again, doesn't say really much of anything. He sort of looks at Jimena like he's about to say something, but then he sort of just nods and just like grips your shoulder. Like you see a thankful look in his eyes, and he just basically lets you go. And with that, the crew is out of the restaurant with Ricardo in tow. Ricardo puts his hat on the moment you're out the door and basically says, the deed is done. For now, until we reach our goal and complete our quest in Ison, I am under your command.
Yeah, with the Seer, Rethel can kind of breathe again. And he's like, Jimena, how about the ship?
If it's this way, it's in the docks.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, Jimena, there is a specific establishment that the captain likes to frequent because she is an absolute shark at games of chance, and there is a place that she loves, as she puts in her own words, to strip bare every time she goes into port. And then she leaves for a few months and he's like, hey, more purses. So you're fairly convinced you can find her at this location. Are you heading there immediately?
I thought that was the
I
plan.
mean, that's where Jimena would take them.
All right. As you step closer to this place, it is loud as all hell's in there. Like, way louder than it should be at this time of the day. Like, it's about midday at this point. And there's the usual hubbub and shouting that you normally hear in taverns at night. Clearly, a lot more noises that you would attribute to construction happening inside.
No.
Construction? So there's like people throwing shit?
Well, you're hearing like pieces of wood falling on the floor.
Like, oh, she's here. We come to right place.
Yeah, it is raucous in there. Like, you're hearing expletives in pretty much like multiple languages being exchanged. And there's a very beaten sign that says Olden Oos on it. Both of the G's have washed off over time. It barely hangs on. And as you approach, the door is ajar, and there is a full-on brawl going on within this bar.
This is a good place.
Oh, this is right now it is raucous. Like, you see that there's a couple of the staff like at the bar trying to preserve some drinks from getting shattered. Maybe somebody swung from the chandelier because it's nowhere near the top of the establishment. It is shattered on the floor at this point. You see a very angry, very red-faced patron surrounded by skeletons of chairs, and he's looking around like he's trying to find more stools that he can use as weapons. The middle of the fist fight seemed to be between a scarred, bald gentleman and this lady in a long coat with long blonde hair that is basically just like ducking and weaving his punches, and it is pissing the fuck of him off. Like, he's trying to pin her down so he can sock her in the face.
Do you think she can hold a conversation right now?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
At her back, you see, Rethold, what you can only assume is one of your countrymen. Braided hair, 2 long braids, long bushy beard, impeccably trimmed. He's also shirtless right now. And he's punching a dude while drinking a beer and sort of keeping people from interfering in the punching duel. Like, he's sort of back to back with the lady, and he's finishing a beer. And as he finishes, he drops one and he sort of extends his arm, and you see somebody hand him another one, and he continues to drink as he's punching from the left arm.
Who is the ugly one she keeps with him?
Wow.
You would know him as Magnus Persson, the ship's master. He's the captain's second in command. In the back, you see a red-haired lady wrestling a couple dudes to the ground. It's just like chaos and pandemonium. You know her as the ship's purser, Natasya Zaitsev. She's sort of laughing as she has like 2 of those guys in headlocks, right? Like, in just like they're sort of flailing around, and she bops them into columns, right? Like, and she just thinks it's the funniest thing ever. You hear a lot of allegations of cheating being thrown in the middle of the melee. And, like, you hear this scarred man like, she's even cheating at fighting! Like, as he's just whiffing his punches, right? He's very sweaty.
So as this unfolds, I'm like, well, ugly countrymen aside, let's introduce ourselves. And I just start, like, face palming anything that heads in our direction.
I stand behind that.
Yeah, no, like, yeah, basically,
And that.
we just...
I was like, fucking Shania jumps in.
Yeah,
you
no,
kidding me?
Yeah, we just sort of V up, and...
No, like, she's like,
And it gets.
I haven't been able to beat the shit out of
It's in,
anybody in a
like-
while.
He's like, hola.
Hello!
Like,
Are there any
Genya.
corners that don't have fighting going on?
Probably the ones right behind us.
That's okay.
yeah.
There's a very suave-looking gentleman, wearing like mostly like leather clothing, and he's on the side, like just drinking a beer, like leaning against the column. Once in a while, like somebody gets tossed his way, right, and he sort of kicks them back into the fray. But mostly, he's just watching with a bemused eye. His corner doesn't seem to have a lot of action.
Okay, well, I go in with that, him, because she's mostly
no.
just in it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
Oh
play.
yeah, no, Genya just jumps in. Like you lose sight of her for a little while, and then you see a dude like sort of getting like flipped over and just like rolling on the floor. Like she's just going like full on wrestling into this.
Just laughter.
As you wave, you actually see the captain. Oh no, he just like dodge a punch, and then she just like Jimena, and then just ducks another one as the guy like tries to sock her in the face.
We need to talk to Joe. Finish up.
I thought that's what we were doing.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, we can do that. A little help. This gentleman's a little persistent. I can take him out, but you know his peers are very drunk.
Like, if no, or yeah, no, that's kind of why I'm just like, the less others there are, and it just plop, plop, you
Can
know.
I make it to...
Jimena's
Quiet
not
guy.
helping. Or sorry,
Absolutely.
Jenny's
Jenny's
not
not
helping.
helping.
She's just
No, I'm having a great fucking
perpetuating.
time.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, I'm trying to shove 2 or 3 bodies at her to just keep it contained
Right.
within her nexus.
I am the
Genya.
riot breaker.
Yes.
Mhm.
By
So
the
roll
way.
me, Genya, roll me a
Yeah, I basically just pull
brawn
people out of my
and
way.
brawl.
If they're
Your
near.
favorite.
Run and brawl.
So I introduce... Well, I don't introduce myself. I just say to the man near the pillar, which one of these are your people?
Probably the ones that aren't being punched repeatedly.
He actually like snickers and he's like,
Let's go.
"Oh, I'm with the captain."
Oh, good. My people want to talk to her.
He sort of curls up his mustache a little bit and then he says, "Don't worry, she will be done shortly."
Oh, I'm not worried at all. I just don't prefer the brawling, so I'm just going to watch from here.
He sort of looks and like his eyes sort of stop on Jimena, and then he starts like laughing immediately, like heartily, and he's like, "Did you by any chance come with this lady?"
Yeah, yes.
8.
8?
8.
All right. Hold on, that is like it. He continues laughing and
13.
basically says, "Ah, bless the fortunes. Good times to be had for all of us. Did you know I trained her?"
Which part? She's a very talented person.
There's a lot going on
Would
over
you
there.
like the bullet list?
Primarily with the sword.
Ah! Oh, then you must be very good with the sword.
Apparently, Red Bull
Well-
makes me an 8. Or is that 13?
That's what
Yeah,
duelists
I'm just
tell
giving
me.
you my raises.
Also,
Because
ladies.
each of these is just one more for you.
I just give a deadpan look back.
Do you like hold up your ring finger and like cough into it?
No, I just stare at him. Like,
He sort of takes like a very elegant
like that would stop
bow
him.
no.
and says,
Like, oh, I challenge you.
"Ernesto Suarez of La Baleine Blanche.
Ah,
Pleased to meet you."
you may call me Marilena.
Challenge? The white what?
It's the white whale.
Are we chasing this shit?
No, we're riding it, baby.
Oh,
riding it.
dear.
That's the ship name.
Hey, for once, I did not make it up.
It was me.
The crowd is less thick because Genia is going full on into this. This has turned into a hardcore mosh pit.
I would say it's condensed.
Yeah, it's but
just piling bodies.
there's significantly more people on the floor than a moment ago. The elbows are getting into it at this point. Like there's a couple wrestling moves being
Amazing
done.
laughter.
At some point, two guys at once are being like elbow thrown into a table. Yeah, she's creating some space.
Love it.
Um,
It's been a while since we had a good brawl.
I am trying to communicate that I understand the need for exercise,
right.
but we have business to attend to.
Yes.
I don't attend the business.
And
already
which is
attending the
why,
business. That's
which
her
is
business.
why I'm like, yes, yeah, as you say, Streakamika or whatever it is, you know, and there you go, woo, get at it.
Yeah.
But
right. So Honoré at this point is like she's throwing both of her hands at this guy, and she's like, "Look, you lost. You heard. I have business to attend to. So can we postpone this until?" And she dodges like a haymaker,
so
aimed right at her head.
if she gives that little like entreaty, I want to lock eyes with Pearson.
Yep.
And just like just body up into behind this dude to basically sandwich him between me and the other
That is
Vestin.
somebody's dream.
Right.
Yeah.
Someone
Oh, yeah.
out there.
So yeah, I'm just steady walk. Boom
Yeah.
boom. Just
The moment he sees you, you see
contact.
the look, and then like he's still
it's
drinking.
Yeah, no.
And you get like he throws a
I'm
punch,
sure that head
and
is
he's
right
like,
under the edge of the tankard. Yeah. I'm like, papa. Like,
and you're back to back with him, and he throws one of his mugs and extends an arm again, and then he's like, "Another for my friend."
Beep, with a sheet.
The captain pulls out a knife from her coat, and is basically like, "All right, we're done." And she basically like takes a swing at the guy, and his belt and pants like immediately fall to his knees. And he's sort of like trying to keep up with her as she does like a couple back
as
steps.
soon as the pants drop, I disengage. I need to know his name first, at least. Like,
So
If
Which
he's like
name are you trying to
commando,
find?
I look away.
no, he has underwear on, but you
Okay.
hear the threat from Honoré being like, "I have business to attend to. We can do this again."
just imagine the knife is just gesticulating towards his
Right.
gesticulars.
But she's like, "These, whatever you call these, are coming down next, and then everybody will see what kind of weapon you're packing. Are you ready for that?"
I sort of cross my arms and look down, like, next to this other Vestin who's shirtless and just sort of like, you know, because I can't imagine this guy's very tall either.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so he's drinking. Meanwhile, man, you're mopping the floor with
And
the other
building a card
patrons.
castle out of people.
That's right. So the guy basically like starts to look around and starts to realize his isolation. Then his eyes turn to the two Vestin now, like, you know, shoulder to shoulder. And he's like, "I don't want to see you in this establishment again," as he's frantically trying to pull his pants back up.
Then you better not come back.
Yes, I will not come back. And then he yells that like half as like a threat for the bar, and the captain just like starts laughing
I
at
kind of want to
that.
just like pull him a little so he like
Just-
chips on his
just
face
a
and
little
he falls
yoink.
out. Just a little bit.
I mean, you can.
Meh.
His pants fall down, and he trips over them, just face plants as he's about to come out. And then
Fate will forgive me for that.
he sort of like gets back up and pulls his pants up, and Honoré is just like, "Poor sod, they love my money way too much here to ever kick me out." And then she just bellows, around for the house. Well, anybody who's conscious, thank you for thinning them out.
Just
My
in
purse
time
is
to
not.
get everyone clunked. Yeah.
I will take all of theirs.
She's like, my purse is not infinite, so I appreciate it.
That was nothing.
Very nice file you have there.
I made them nice and neat in this
I was about to say, there's you actually arranged them this time. That's,
Yes.
you're getting better at that.
I don't always have time. We're usually running away afterwards.
Yeah.
The Vestin close to you just gave you a good forearm
Oh yeah, no,
clap
yeah.
immediately. And he's like, a countryman.
Oh yeah.
Man after my own heart.
Rethel Ergerson.
Magnus Person.
Ah.
Hola, Magnus!
Hey man, he just like comes in
Yeah, there
and
it goes.
just grabs you, lifts you off the floor.
Do I know Pearson's as like southern, northern?
Northern.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, cool.
Yeah, he lifts Jimena like he's just like, I knew you'd come back. You could not stay away from this for too long.
From this.
Yeah.
I missed you.
Oh, okay.
Puts her
He's
fingers in his beard.
the captain has sat back at her table, which remain weirdly untouched, and puts
Are there
back
any chairs
a
left?
plumed hat.
Right.
Yeah, there's a few. Some people have started to pull like crates and other
We keep a
implements.
few in back just in case.
Magnus rolls a barrel
I
towards
was
the
about
table.
to say, just bring 2 or 3 barrels and we'll
Yeah.
empty them as we
I
sit on
find a chair
them.
that's actually not broken, and I say to Ernesto,
I was like, Jenny just hops onto the bar. Fuck it. With her
Yeah.
feet dangling.
sits on a chair.
You get drinks shoved in your faces almost immediately. Ernesto actually swings by and he also goes to Jimena and basically like gives a bow before starting to bust out laughing and just like grabbing you by the neck. I guess this was not the occasion for you to show what you can do, but we will have others. Yes.
Say.
Have you been practicing?
Say.
Oh, we've given her lots of reason to practice.
It is not practice when you're doing it for the real.
I've killed several men.
Well,
You would be proud.
I know I would be.
I'm like, did you take any other trophies besides the clothes?
Wait. Out of character.
Yeah.
What?
The
Did you take any trophies from your kills, or
Like
just
scalps,
the
ears, whatever.
or just the outfits that
The Prophet's
we
sword
have yet to
cloaks.
actually
Oh.
use to fool anyone for anything?
No, I think it was just those.
Yeah.
I don't think I've.
You keep a mental tally. You
Yeah,
don't keep
no,
any sort of-
I got it all up
Okay,
here.
Yeah, it's like
as
no
he
trophies. I don't know.
As you
Jenny's
hear
in the
them
best
mention-
mood she's been in like a
It's
month.
not. It wouldn't
Oh,
be
yeah,
pious
no.
to brag too much.
Oh,
you
okay, yeah.
Ricardo actually like
Pride is
settles
one of
next
the
to you and
greatest
like
sins.
takes off his hat and is like, I can't believe I have not stepped into this place before. And
This is
Honore's
Ricardo.
right.
Yeah.
And Honore's at the table and sits and it's like, most days it's drudgery, but when my crew is in, this is what it looks like.
It's true.
I imagine if you want to keep whatever coins are in your purse, that's also a good reason not to come in here.
Yes, absolutely. Smart man.
I know certain things about certain people who ride ships. I sort of chuckle over at Magnus.
He just like bellows a laugh. The lady that was wrestling guys in the back actually swings back up as well. And he
Who
says,
was murdering chairs?
some rando.
Okay, all right.
Apparently,
So someone who is now
nobody from the crew.
Okay.
Somebody who apparently
Someone in my pile.
had
Yeah.
a vendetta against the furniture in here.
All right.
What did you have against furniture?
The red hair lady like has her hair like in just like single braid. and she sort of rolls in, like she has like face crisscrossed with scars. She actually utters a couple cuss words. She rolls her shoulder in
What
Assuran.
Oh, there we go.
And then basically rolls up and grabs a drink. And she says to the captain, Two drinks I spilled while wrestling these guys. I am losing my touch.
Yeah, no, the head shake. Yeah, no, the head shake.
Inusuran. We need more practice.
She actually like looks like she lights up the moment you speak, Assuran. It's like, that I do. Your work?
Always.
Oh gosh, are they gonna bring out the weird jars now?
I think I'm the only one who carries a backpack with me
Right.
everywhere.
She definitely doesn't have any weird
Her weird
jars.
jars are on the ship.
Yeah.
That's her backpack.
That's right.
So they sort of like take and roll on various seated implements around this table, and Honori basically looks to Jimena and says, "So good to see you.
It's good to see you too.
I wasn't sure if you were still going to be in town."
See? I don't have much other place to go.
Well, you know, you can always come back to us. You always have a place.
Actually,
How funny you should say that.
that's kind of why we are here today. We need to ask you a favor.
Oh, favors.
Favors are very expensive. We will pay for services. But it doesn't hurt when it's for friends.
Do tell. And this one and I go way back.
So, should I start from the beginning, or do you just want what we need?
The Cliff Notes.
Oh, you know me. Especially if there's some drama in this, I'm all about it. Start from the beginning, spare no details.
Okay, so
Like, even Rethel's like, that's a lot, okay? I was like waiting for it.
here's what's important to know. She is an animal person. She doesn't know what your thing is called.
You actually see Magnus, like his eyebrow, like sort of lifts up, like, oh really?
If you
Is he into
I
that?
thought, yeah, you might know, because you're with the heart. With your
Well, she sees that I have apple green eyes, so
yeah.
Yeah, you see the Assuran lady like actually nod and it's like, oh.
I actually sort of mumbled to Magnus. I'm like, she's not my raven, but she does turn into a raven. So it's like, always blessed.
That
weirdly
is-
enough, Zhenya is good luck.
Right?
And if you ever hear about the Vestin in town who, what was it? What's the word I was looking for?
Bear
Lies
fornicating?
with bears.
No. There's a specific, there's a specific term I had in my brain, and it was glorious.
I am gifted by Matushka.
It was
Yes.
something like
I'm not a thing.
someone who keeps companies with bears. That's me.
He sort of paused for a second and then like he leans forward and he's like, "You're Juan Mendes."
Duh.
And
Obviously silly. But thanks to the Raven Bear girl,
So anyway,
they all believe
so
it.
the important thing is that
he's beyond himself.
she had a sister. Her sister got kidnapped and got turned into a. What are they? You help me. Help me.
I think I don't know what she turned into, but right now she is in the bad sleep, the not.
So
The
the
coma.
Samartian lady
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Ooh.
did whatever they do.
She
to
has
her
one of
sister,
those, and
and now she's like unconscious, and so we have to go to Eisen because that's where the people who do the death things live, and they can fix her sister.
And you want to take the sea route
See,
through
because
Rural
we maybe killed somebody important, and we need to leave as soon as possible and go the way
killed some people.
Okay, killed some people. Important people.
You guys, you two.
Say, I killed somebody very important.
You see Ernesto like sort of look
We
at
saved an
Marilyn
elephant.
and gives you like a little.
I've eaten people.
Which
oh, yeah,
is
she
why
ate a lady.
I hate a few people.
which is why the killing not as impressive as the elephant.
But so, we need to leave and take the way that will be least trackable. I don't know what this is anymore.
It's fine. It's
I don't know what
7C.
mine
You
is
don't
either.
even know what you're saying.
Yeah,
It's 7C. That's
you-
the accent. That's 7C.
We all just become one.
Yeah.
So,
Plus, I can't stand walking anymore.
yeah, we've done a lot of walking, and also, so you know, it's good for us to take a ship, and it would be even better for us to take a ship with people we know, or at least I know, who can be trustworthy.
And who can get around a mountain blockade?
Hey,
Our special.
Looks like she's literally trying just like to.
oh yeah, she doesn't like mountains.
Are you trying to blow up her head with your
No,
mind?
I'm trying not to like.
Honoré actually.
She's trying to hold her tongue.
She's clearly Montaigne herself, right? Like,
Yeah.
but she leans close as he says that, and she says, "That's the right attitude. I hate them as well."
It's true.
They're all terrible.
Technically, at this point, La Baleine Blanche is under the service of good King Sandoval of Castile, so we are privateers, which means if we do come across some of l'Emperor's fleet, we are under obligation to prevent them from entering Castilian territory. We may or may not be pushing them past the border just for the chance to scuttle them.
Brethel has just got the wild eye again. He's like,
Ship scuttling. Jenny kind of like. Have you had much dealing with Sarmatian people?
Not much on our side outside of the usual travails. We do have a Sarmatian on board, our ship surgeon.
Are they familiar with their creatures?
Oh yes,
One might be following me.
Oh yeah, I forgot that part.
He stole my sister. I stole her back.
as is only proper. No one should steal what you're intending to steal in the first place.
I do hope the information given thus far clearly outlines the potential perils of this journey.
Yes, which is why we will accept.
It will be a good time if you like danger.
Magnus just like roars with laughter. He's like,
It's a cat toy. It took me a minute too. I was like,
he sort of leans towards you and says, I used to be a raider. This lady we would call crazy.
Good to know.
Ernesto is like, well, there's always good opportunities to hone your skills with a blade. We never have a chance to get rusty.
Neither do we.
The captain sort of takes off her hat and lays it on the table and grabs her drink and says,
It's like, does it have a big plume?
oh, it does.
oh yeah.
It is
It is a fancy ass hat.
It is
The plumes
azure
of
blue
plumes.
lacquer coat with a big white feather.
That's not.
I'm pretty sure ostentatious is understatement.
Oh,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
She is very French.
She sort of leans forward and says, if we are to do business, might as well start the right way. I am the ship's captain, Honoré du Carmagnac.
I will not.
And she points to the shirtless man,
I will not be able to.
Magnus Pearson, Ernesto Suarez, Natasha Zaitsev.
I can say that.
These are my crew. You will meet the rest once we go on board, and the details of our travel are put together. But yes, the opportunity to square off against some of the church goons, maybe a demon. I will not pass that in a lifetime. Magnus finishes his beer and is like, if we kill it, we will mount its head on the ship. Oh, and he's just you see he's picturing it right now.
And I'm pointing at him, and I'm like, yeah, you see why I'm here. Yeah, duh. This is yeah. But noticing the business, I reach into the backpack and I pull out a small pouch, and I clink it onto the table, and I'm like, this is the down payment for passage, but also as part of the crew, as everyone coming along is expected to contribute. It will be those of us you see here, as well as 4 other able-bodied individuals, a dog, and one...
The dog is able-bodied.
One person who is considered special cargo will probably need her own bunk.
Ernesto is actually looking like he's taking note, just listening to what you're saying, and he seems to be registering that and says, we'll make arrangements for this.
And the pouch is basically it's many less coins than most people use to splash a table, but it's because it is literally a stack of $100 bills equivalent. You know, instead of oh, look at all these 20s, it's like no, that's real fuck you money.
She takes it and just has a peek inside, and then immediately closes the pouch, and
I guess we can play.
You see the twinkle in her eye, and as she putting it into her coat, she basically says, "Tell you what, counter offer. I will take this as the whole of the payment." If you agree that if we do come across any Montaigne ships, you will assist my crew in taking them down.
Jenny laughs.
The only person who might object to this
No, I'll take them fucking down.
is the one laughing on the boat. Is the one. Well,
No, I'll take them down.
I guess I articulate. The only one who might object to it due to the timetable is the most enthusiastic for this. So consider it done.
Then consider your passage paid
I'll
in
just
full
have to do it quickly.
with our...
Now that we have an elephant in my pocket.
We
Take a
do,
ship.
we do it quickly.
Nice.
L'Empereur knows the name of our ship now, which is fantastic.
With that sort of good vibe going, I stand up a little too sharply, and whatever seating thing I had knocks over. I spit on my glove, and I put it out.
She returns the handshake, no spitting, but she shakes bare hand.
No, that's
And I do believe you have a deal.
Good.
A code.
Having a call.
And then I pick up another mug and probably put it down next to the barrel I was sitting on. And
She basically states, we are not under any special assignments currently, so La Bagne Blanche is yours. We can leave port at your earliest convenience.
does anyone object to leaving with this evening's tide?
No.
No.
I went to my shop and it was like they didn't even need me. It was...
Aww.
That must be
How do I feel
nice.
about that?
Jose doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He's got his head up his ass most of the time. I'm like, you collate, and then you sort the... Anyway. Okay.
Magnus, at the mention of that, Magnus just downs his mug and slams it on the table and is like, Ernesto, Natasha, there's work to be done. Immediately back to the boat. We have some riggings to put together.
You see Rethel
I think
Look,
you should
almost
let him
tugged.
come.
and he's like, I have my own ship to get in order before we go.
All right.
But absolutely.
So I do believe this is a good arrangement. Plus, we have Jimena back for however how long.
And she can absolutely act as her own agent in regards to her relationship to either party, which I don't think will ever have any sort of conflict in the near future.
I don't believe we will. And with that, multiple other drinks are exchanged. The captain makes an attempt at some point to get you to play cards, and then realize you've seen the carnage and therefore will not be taken by her sweet talk and gives up on that idea.
Oh yeah, I joke about only gambling with my life, and so that's good enough for me. And that
I pretty much take out my Sorte deck and I'm like, this is the only cards I play with.
speaking of perilous ventures and games of chance, I must attend to my own before we depart. So we'll see. So we'll see them a few hours before.
Yep, she gives you
sundown.
the location where the ship is moored, and finishes her drink and goes to attend to the ship's preparations as well. I assume you return to the house and...
Oh yeah, if anyone shows up to the ship without us, they'll identify themselves as employees of Mendez y Mendez.
As you arrive at the house, the brothers are decked into the travel gear with this Zweihander like in the back sheath, sturdy boots, good cloaks, nice travel accoutrements. Jose seems like he thought every single article he has on him. He's wearing one of the harnesses you gave him, and like everything seems to be thought of. But all three of them are actually helping Amandine, who has traveling clothes on, and you see that she has a knife tucked in her belt at this point. Jose's adjusting her cloak.
It's a good start.
You see Emile like basically being like, "Oh, the sheet should be just a little closer." See, like you need to be able to reach, right? You need to have.
She's got uncles, all right.
And she looks like she's just absorbing it, right? Like, and she's sort of shifting and making the changes, right? And he was like, "No, this looks good." And Oscar is like, "You might want to consider putting one in your boot so you can, do this move." And then he pulls a knife out of his boot, right? Like it's like always a good surprise, right? It's okay. And then this stops the moment you step into the room.
We weren't showing.
No, it's great. It's great. They know what's up. It's beautiful. And I'm like, good. You've got a few hours left, which is too few. So I think this one wants to take you shopping. Meanwhile, Jose, you're a mess. Come here. They just start pulling us.
As you pull him towards you, a couple things fall off like of his
braces
back
himself
harness.
and takes a quick breath.
Right.
One good wave, and you're over the side. You can swim, right?
Yes.
Good. Because I don't believe you.
No, but I'm saying yes.
Okay, because if you're lying, you're getting thrown over the ship with a rope. You will learn quickly.
Yes. Yes, I will. I believe.
You're right.
I believe I can use some polish on my swimming technique.
Whoa. You know what color water is when it's that deep. I just start packing things back onto him.
You see his skin turn like white as a sheet as you mentioned that. Amandine goes with you to shop. Are you looking to pilfer anything in particular?
Well, we just need to get the essentials because she doesn't really have anything with her.
Yeah, she has the one set of clothes right now.
Lots and lots
It sounds
of
like she
underwear.
bought mostly like gear.
Yeah.
And not so much clothing. So
Yeah, she got ready, right?
Yeah.
Um,
You're so cute.
yeah, she had a shopping list based on what the 2 Ison and the ex-prophet sword.
yep.
We're like, yeah, you need knives and guns and like
Yeah, you don't need any
Jerky.
axles at all.
It's like, oh, honey.
Right.
No, these are good. You do need these. Well, let's get you some regular things
Right.
also, because
It's
you
like-
don't have anything.
it's like the guy and the girl packing for the camping trip. It's
Yeah.
a totally fucking different set of shit.
There, this cloak is good. Like, it's a little heavy, but it will protect you from the rain. And like, if you switch to the side like that, you can probably take a good glancing hit. You know, like without
It's like, let's get you some clothes, get you some hairpins, and keep your hair out.
Soap. So you know those dudes didn't get any soap.
Yeah.
As you mentioned that, like she's
And a
like,
hairbrush.
oh,
Yeah.
I didn't think of that.
Like, I know you didn't, honey. It's okay.
At the first place you stop by and you grab items and just basically leave
Walk out.
with them. She's like, oh, I don't think we
Don't
You're
worry
right.
about it.
You're
Don't
right.
worry. Come
You're
here.
absolutely
Come here.
right.
You thought right. Well done.
and then it's just like it just opened up like a new world of opportunities.
It's like, not everything always needs to be paid for.
She's like, I can get things without having to afford them.
See.
Her world is
But-
different now.
But not everything. And also, be careful that you don't get caught. Only take what you can carry on yourself. Don't get cocky.
Quickly.
She pauses for a moment,
Only take what can be easily concealed.
and then like after a few seconds, she's, you can teach me, right?
See. She's blushing. She's so happy.
So she's like, I will remember this.
Good.
And lessons in shoplifting continue.
It's like a mall teenage movie montage.
Yeah, that's right.
I imagine some poppy
Right?
music, some
Girls just want to
guitar.
have fun playing
Yeah.
in the background, just stealing
Right.
Stop
things.
and have ice cream.
I imagine the song that actually popped in was
Steal
"I
ice
Want
cream.
Candy," right? Just
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You need to have.
The guy from Can't Hardly Wait who just keeps stealing bigger and bigger.
Oh
things.
yeah, oh
Car.
yeah, it just drives off in it. It's like, yes, sir, live your
He
best
takes like
life.
a mall machine.
Hell yeah, he does.
It's like that is the proper trajectory for that escalation, sir. But yeah, there needs to be at least one scene where it's just like him and like just curling her finger in her hair, like talking to a shopkeep while like Amandin's in the back, like putting stuff in the bag. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, that's the best thing you need accomplish.
Oh no, yeah. And while you're talking to her, nodding or shaking your head, he thinks you're talking to her, but you're actually signaling to her what's good, and she
Yeah.
like gets ambitious. You're like, oh no.
she like picks up a crossbow and it's like,
Oh no. Silly.
Just
so
coughs.
good.
Like,
So beautiful. Yeah.
like, oh, excuse me.
all right. Any other business you
Jen
want
is
to attend to?
literally always packed, so
Yeah, and you have, if you go to your sister's room, Augustina has prepared a little package with essentials for her, that you'll be able to use.
big hugs for Augustina.
Aw.
Oh yeah. I
Did she
basically.
give us a bag lunch and like a spare tire and a
you
sweater?
Oh,
bet,
hell yeah.
You bet you will have.
I'll get a bindle.
Yep, with Bindle with a
I
bag
saw a
lunch.
guy with a bindle the other day.
What?
I mean, it was like
Shit.
a weird hipster bindle because he had like an actual backpack,
Oh.
but it was hanging off a stick over his shoulder.
Wow.
Huh.
He was like a hipstery looking homeless guy.
I guess.
I mean,
Weird and a man bun.
synonymous.
But he clearly looked unwashed, but he had like a little. Not like a large size backpack, but like a little backpack that he had like tied up on the end of a stick.
Nice.
And was just walking with the stick over his shoulder, and I was like,
That guy was like
Okay then.
a
okay.
traditionalist.
Yeah, right? I was like,
Something.
there's no trains around here for you to jump on, hobo.
Right. You can't jump bus cars around here.
Did you see that meme about how it was like calling them murder hobos is an offense to hobos? And I was like,
Yeah.
fair.
Yep.
Yeah, as I rough up Jose to prep him better, I basically just keep knocking him out the door towards the office across the street.
Mm-hmm.
And I basically give standing orders to all Jose's. Just making sure operations stay
Operational.
in the
Yes.
status quo, and that
Jose Corrida, Correa, being the eldest Jose,
Yeah.
has seniority, and
Yes.
therefore is immediately looked at as the senior Jose,
Mhm.
and therefore the one in charge.
Mhm.
Senor Jose.
and he's actually kind of
Senor
in the
Jose.
best place to do it as the person who's doing all the go-between. So
Yes.
yeah, no, it's good.
All Jose is great and small.
No, yeah,
That's right.
No Jose is more important than the other. Like people be like, oh yeah, Jose Carlos and Josefina, they get all the attention. It's like, no. You don't want the job they got. It's a lot of work.
Yes.
It's the easier job.
All right.
Now
And
and then
with
just
that-
stop by my shop.
Yes. You are actually welcomed by Alicia, and she immediately pulls a book with a quill and is basically taking whatever your standing orders are for the shop's coming development, and you can run her through basically you wanting to get that Inquisitor business,
Yeah, other clients too.
so they can start to work
I
on
mean, the
that.
main things would be like making sure things are like the construction stuff is like built to the design I already gave.
Yeah.
There's
There's still about, to Gianni's estimate, there's still about a month away from being in a completely like presentable state.
Right.
Like you see that they've ripped out some of the floorboards, like there's just some rotted wood under there, like they're basically like going all in replacing stuff.
and then there's just finding clients, particularly the Inquisition one, but others as well. Continuing to secure suppliers. I mean, I've already done some of that legwork myself, but
Yep, she basically writes down all of that, and then
I mean,
basically
for the moment, we won't be like. I think it would be more like we'll have like specific clients, but we won't actually open to the public until I come back.
right. Perfect. Yeah, she pretty much jots all of this down and basically mentions if you have further orders, if you think about anything different, feel free to send communication as you can through
Yeah, I said I'd
Salvador's
send
company.
something roughly once a month, sooner if there's more. And with every letter, I'll give some way to contact me if I have one.
Perfect.
Similarly, I have. I want quarterly reports via guild ships. To sort of follow me and come back. As I think we'll be making port a few places before and after Montaigne,
Yep.
so that we can keep an eye on things. So that if things get weird down here, we'll know about it at least before we get back.
Fantastic. And yeah, for all of your preparations get taken care of, and with a jaunt in your step, you start to head towards the docks. And we will stop here for tonight. In 2 weeks, this crew finally takes to the sea.
Hooray!
Been sea adjacent so long.
I know. We were right by it this whole time.
It's right there.
We've been on a ship. We just didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, we've been on a boat
I've been on a ship, but I
on
was
this
cargo.
sea, and we've gone a few yards out.
Give yourself 5 experience. You ridiculous crew.
And we're good for next week, right?
Should be.
Yep.
All right.
Let me check because I'm gonna be leaving soon.
All right. Well, first of all, good night, Internet.
Good
Night,
night,
Internet.
Internet. I will be gone the